hell are you?
You all know exactly who I am. Say my name.
You what? I don't have a damn clue who the hell you are.
I bought all the baby oil. I'm the man who created the island.
Bullshit.
You sure?
Man, really? All my baby oil?
Do I run over this liberal, or do I drive around him? What do you think? I don't know. Think about the gas prices. Yeah, but then I'd have to back up and go around, and it all just kind of feels like a waste of time, doesn't it? I'm not gonna do that. No. Don't feel like it. Don't feel like I'm not gonna do. No. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Don't feel like. No. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful night tonight. We have much to discuss, much fun things happening here and there. There's a war still going on. Death count for Americans is currently sitting at 6, unfortunately. Over in Iran, we have some of the new footage coming out of there. We have the first confirmed submarine kill in like 60 years. So for you submarine bros, probably very happy about that. There's some funny moments as well, some schadenfreude in the mix, some people losing elections, some people winning elections that you may or may not have expected. And then, of course, we have the Stealth Additive Works, which is Stealth updating their products, which is not particularly cool since people give them lots of money to do the thing, and then they change the product after they gave them money. You know, or reasonable people are going to be upset about that sort of thing. Also, selling blems, just straight up broken products to your customers is not cool either. And then, of course, we have rage bait, and we have a lot of rage bait. So we have so much rage bait that I might save like a bunch of it for Friday, depending how long it takes us to get through everything. But before we get to that, we have Richard Cranium, the Suppressor Chud, and Lost Warfare. Sorry, how is everybody's night going?
I'm doing good.
Fantastic. Excellent.
I'm tired. I'm tired, boss.
Tired boss. Literally your boss. Sir.
Fuck off.
I'm your boss. Suppressor Chud, how's your night going, man?
It's about to go really well or really poorly.
Yeah, we'll see. Last time it went great. You totally did not get BTFO'd on Reddit last time. And we'll hope that to not repeat that success this time.
But they tried. Didn't succeed, though.
You know, that's the thing about being truthful or honest. Even if in the short term you make people upset and mad at you, it usually pays off in the long run. Sorry, somebody said my audio died. I think you're crazy, dude.
You guys are fortunate enough to make it like quick turnarounds. I don't have to wait very long usually.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we're going to start out with some of the Iran footage that people have been releasing. This is from Central Command. The Iranian regime is using mobile launchers to indiscriminately fire missiles in an attempt to inflict maximum harm across the region. U.S. forces are hunting these threats down without apology or hesitation. We are taking them out. So at least we're getting some HD footage of SAMs getting removed off the face of the planet. My tax dollars at work, at least I get the high-res footage of it all, you know. One slightly tangible benefit. Now, if you're wondering how Iran is doing in all of this, the answer is not very good. Here is the current skyline for Tehran, which if you've seen the before and after pictures of Gaza, I would imagine that large swaths of Tehran are going to be looking like that in the not too distant future.
What?
In the not too distant future, there's going to be complete districts just removed from the face of the planet. It looks like an apocalyptic war zone out there, which obviously sucks for the people living there, but hopefully the military targets are at least the primary target, although you're never too sure, depending on who's sending the missiles in. Now, here's a terrifying one. This is out of Dubai, so these are the result of Iranian attacks against the people in Dubai, but these are Chinese construction workers in Dubai working on a construction site next to a missile impact with the smoke and the burning buildings next to them. Like I'm already not the biggest fan of heights, right? But this job right here in the middle of a war zone, I would be like, I don't care what they're paying me. I don't care how many zeros are on that paycheck. I'm out of here.
This is in Tehran?
No. This is in Dubai. So this is in Dubai. These are Iranian missiles that have hit the building next to them where they're currently working a construction site. So, I mean,
Mandarin.
Yeah, they're Chinese. They're Chinese construction workers that are working in Dubai because they hire these companies to come in here and do all the work for them, right? So if I were these guys, I would be getting down as soon as possible. I don't care what they're paying me. I ain't hanging out next to a burning building during, an active war zone, basically, right?
Just makes you wonder what the conditions are in China that they're like, meh, this is all right.
Well, where was it? It was Dubai, wasn't it? Where they were bringing in foreign contract work and then essentially treating them like slave labor.
Yep.
Wasn't that Dubai?
Yeah. It's
So
Dubai with other Muslims, though. I don't know if they're other Chinese people, but if you're from that region or you're Indian and you go there, congratulations, you just lost your passport and you got a free trip to some fucking Connex in the middle of nowhere. And if you don't work, they'll kill you.
That's nice of them, considering. Rhine Arevan, true. Rhine Arevan. All right, moving on. Here we go. Here is an F-35, an Israeli F-35 taking out a drone, just absolutely splashing it. Oh, no, wait, no, sorry, not this one. This is a Apache. This is an Israeli Apache taking out a drone with their minigun. Now the Sahih drones are like really slow. They're just a fire and forget essentially. But here is a cockpit footage of them taking out Iranian drones and their Apaches. Kind of cool. Too bad, you know, this one is the F-35 footage. Them splashing a drone with the F-35. Boom. Reduced
crazy.
to atoms. Yep. Watch that one more time. Yeah, just absolutely obliterated in the sky.
A really good video there.
That is a good one. I mean, if you want some, here is Tel Aviv. Now, this is just kind of state of the world, I guess, because here is Israel, and they just have all these news broadcasting sites with all of the camera work because, of course, the World War III has to be televised live to keep everybody's attention, to make sure that you're paying attention to this and not something else that might be more important going on within your own country. But literal, just like, you know, camera crews and drones and everything just to feed the footage to the people, right, so that they can be entertained. Now, this is allegedly a Iranian missile actively dodging interceptors. So it has some sort of course change to prevent interception by the Israeli defenses, which, if true, interesting tech. So there you can see the interceptors. You can see it course deflect and then reach its target.
Why?
Yeah. It's on a magic carpet. Yeah, so I mean, the stuff is starting to get through in Tel Aviv and other places around Israel. So you're going to start to see the damage pile up and people not be too happy because they're currently locked in bomb shelters. Although, because they're locked in bomb shelters, we do have some very interesting footage of all of this. Now, this is kind of the big news for today. We have the first confirmed submarine kill in like 6 decades, and they gave us the footage. So this is a Iranian ship. I'm not sure exactly where. I know in the Gulf of Oman, they said they already removed all of the Iranian Navy, so I'm not sure exactly where this one was taken down at, but you can watch it in relatively high quality now. Benefit of modern warfare. Boom. Damn. Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, man. I hope no one's taking a shit on that shit.
If they weren't before, they are now.
Yeah,
well, dude, imagine
terrifying.
being on the bow of the ship, right? Or whatever, the stern of the ship.
I don't know if you've ever ridden like a school bus before, but when the bus driver hits that heavy speed bump going fast, yeah.
Yes, well, it felt like. If you're standing on the deck at that point and the back raises like 30 feet in the air, like you're just launched. You're a catapult, you know. Yeah. You're gonna land on. You're gonna land somewhere else, and you're gonna be turned to dust.
You're gonna land on that antenna.
Well, I mean, even if you like, the ship itself raised many feet in the air in the back.
Oh yeah.
So if you're on that, you're getting launched, and yeah, you're probably going to be dead just from the acceleration and from the blast, not including the impact afterwards. Yeah, but for the first time, our boys in the submarines are very happy to actually get some work finally, because those guys, you know, they got to be on a boat with a bunch of other seamen, surrounded by seamen all day, and to finally get to, you know, exercise some of that built up load of rage on the enemy. I mean, it's got to feel good, okay, to finally release your inhibitions, okay.
Iranian Navy taking back shots.
Oh, yes.
Sub guys are fucking psychos. Shout out to Beck the Schizo on Instagram. He makes the best edits.
Yeah, that's the one job where I would want to do whatever the opposite of that is, okay? I do not want to be in a enclosed, confined space in a singular location for days, weeks, months at a time. It's like, that's the one I would not want to do.
Yeah, fuck no.
Nah, no thank you. Now, here is one of Iran's new vessels that also got taken out, which is one of the, I forget, what are these called? Total destruction of Iran's naval capabilities unfold day by day. Earlier this morning, the Pentagon announced that the U.S. Navy submarine had made the first torpedo kill since World War II. So I was wrong. It's been 80 years, over 80 years since the last time a sub crew got a confirmed kill against an Iranian frigate in the Indian Ocean. Now we're seeing footage of Iran's strangest and most advanced warships, the Shahid Soleimani, class Iris, blah, 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 being struck and set ablaze. So you can see here is what CENTCOM has put out of the ship. What do they call these? Not hydrofoils.
Catamaran.
Where they're the, what are they called?
Catamaran.
Catamaran. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Which, I mean, they look cool, but yeah, they are now burning hulks at the bottom of the ocean. So congratulations. Like, I'm honestly not sure what they're even supposed to do against our Navy or our Air Force. Like, I'm not even sure what their capabilities are to deter us from just taking them out at will. So I guess they're just trying to not get found. Like, that's their entire game plan, is just don't get found. It's essentially hide and go seek for as long as you want, and then as soon as you get tagged, you're dead. The first ship in her class, the Shahid Soleimani, was commissioned in 2022 and is a very unique vessel indeed, built for literal combat. It incorporates a number of interesting features for a ship of its size. This includes a vertical launch system with 2 cell sizes that is capable of slinging air defense missiles and also features anti-ship cruise missiles, gun systems, and a large flight deck. Clearly, the Shahid Sayad's Shirazi's capabilities offered little help to its survival, as video shot by a U.S. surveillance aircraft shows. In fact, if you look closely at the image at the top of the story, it appears that either a missile is exiting one of the Irish Shahid's Saeed Sirachi's vertical launch cells, or it is stuck on its launch rail. Oof, that's rough. We also see an image with smoke trails, smoke streaks surrounding the ship. It isn't clear if this was launching weapons at its attackers or the attackers' weapons finding their way to the Shahid Sayad Shirazi. I do think that they need to work on their naming convention. And here's kind of a more detailed look at what it was before. And now it's sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Looks cool. Big investment. Now gone. All right. Now, that's kind of the, I guess, important updates, if you will. But now we just have some more entertaining ones. All right. This isn't important, but it is funny. So during the Iran airstrikes, an Israeli in the shelter defecated himself. Panic exploded. Everyone started choking, screaming. They couldn't breathe from the stench. So imagine this scenario, if you will. Let me lay it out here. You're in an air shelter, a bomb shelter, with some of the least hygienic people, you know, out there. They have, you know, different customs, okay? It's cultural differences. And then one of them defecates in an enclosed space, and you're just, what are you going to do? Go outside? No, you can't go out. They're not going to let you out. You just sit and try not to throw up. It's just one of those things. It's like a bioweapon went off inside of the shelter. And here we can see them dealing with their situation.
God, they're so ugly.
Because it already didn't smell good in there, right?
Gotta be hot in there too. That many dogs.
It's just like the gas chambers again. Ah, not again. They got us. Oh,
You know,
gosh.
somehow, some way, this was promised to them 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, that poor German Shepherd.
Yeah, the dog is not having a good time down there.
Poor boy.
Ah, well. And then also, of course, perhaps the funniest video of all time, or at least so far out of the whole situation, is just an Israeli in his natural habitat, just being the perfect ally. What was that?
Dude, it's the alien from Signs. Bro, that's the alien from Signs when Joaquin Phoenix pauses it.
Yeah, but you know how it's like he's so hunched over and he's got his head forward and he's just doing the thing, right?
He's doing the penny shuffle, bro.
The happy merchant running unathletically, like super leaned forward with his neck like all the way down. It's scurrying. Yes, that's the word. Scurrying is the correct word.
It's like when you turn on the light in your kitchen and like a roach scurries to like underneath the fridge or something like that.
You could see him very athletically, with stuff falling in the background. The city's on fire. He's not in a bomb shelter because he was picking up a penny on his way home from work or something. Well, I say work as if these guys work. No, that's our tax dollars at work there. It's like, I should have edited in like a little sound like, oy vey. They've come in to get me.
Dude, have you seen those AI generated B edits of like just very like quote unquote anti-Semitic memes? And they're on Instagram. They're so fucking funny.
I probably have seen many of them. I do partake in some tomfoolery on Instagram. But yeah, those are the hard hitting war updates that you tune in to the Focus Trip live show to see. All right. Also funny, in perhaps the most Jewish headline of all time. All right. Breaking: Israeli officials allegedly hired social media influencers for $7,000 per post, failed to pay them, and are now facing lawsuits totaling millions of dollars over unpaid invoices. So, the whole meme that was going around for a while about these guys getting paid directly by Israel's, you could call it marketing, you could call it, whatever propaganda term you want to use for it. And they were paying these influencers $7,000 per tweet. Well, at least they said they would, and then they just didn't. So you sold your soul for literally nothing. You didn't get a single thing out of it. And now you're suing what? The Israeli government? Good luck. Good luck on that one, bro. I'm sure they'll be paying up any day now. But honestly, I think you get what you deserve. I think you get what you deserve. No respect.
The R word? Am I allowed to say that right now or no?
Retard?
Yeah, I don't know. There's weird.
You can say retard.
Dude.
There's no. You just don't say a slur, dude. That's all. Lots of like, what? I want to.
Kind of hard, dude. It's kind of hard.
I understand.
It's like getting money from Israel is going to be like taking a crayon from a retard. It's damn near impossible.
It's true. It's got a grip on that thing. All right. Yeah. It's like a penny glued to the sidewalk is a literal hate crime, according to the ADL.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's funny. It's a great practical joke.
Oh my god.
If you want to,
that's a group.
It's like the joke is like, how do you get a Jew to drown himself? You tape a penny to the bottom of the swimming pool, right? But hey, how about some good news? Okay, some literal good news. While the state of California, specifically Fresno, might be electing a convicted CSAM pedophile to their city council, in Arkansas, we have the man who killed his daughter's rapist. Now, he's technically still under indictment for murder. However, he ran for sheriff, and today it does appear that he has won. So he has won his local sheriff election race while under indictment for murder. Now, I say murder as the technical term. I don't believe that that's murder. If you kill the rapist of your daughter, like, I feel like that's just justice. All right. I thought this was America. I thought this was a free country here. We can't just kill rapists and pedophiles. What are you talking about? Come on. But yeah, as Kershaw says, you can just do things.
Hello, Lone Oak. My name is Aaron Spencer. Many of you know my story. I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed. I'm also a husband, a combat veteran of the 82nd Airborne Division, a contractor, and a farmer. And through my own fight for justice, I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court. And I refuse to stand by while others face these same failures. That's why I'm announcing my candidacy to run for Lonoke County Sheriff. This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family who deserves to feel safe in their homes and safe in their community. It's about restoring trust, where neighbors know law enforcement is on their side, and families know that they will not be left alone in a moment of need. Together, we can build a safer, stronger Lonoke County for every family. I'm Aaron Spencer, and I'm running for sheriff of Lonoke County.
Now, that video was basically the video announcing that he was running for his local sheriff's office. And now, according to Fox News and a couple other places, he has won the GOP nomination for his sheriff's race. So, an Arkansas father facing second-degree murder charges for allegedly gunning down his teenage daughter's suspected sexual predator. Keep in mind that he called the cops on them, ran the pedophile rapist off the road because he had his daughter in the car with him when he found them. He had essentially kidnapped the daughter, and then the father is called the police, is going to go find him himself, finds him himself, and in the next few minutes, guns the man down. Now, again, kidnapped his daughter, raped his daughter. His daughter was 14 years old, makes him a pedophile, right? So those three things together, I feel like that gives you carte blanche to kill somebody. I think that's a justified shoot. Aaron Spencer, who is accused of killing Michael Fossler, 67, defeated Lonoke County Sheriff John Staley in the primary election, winning more than 53% of the vote, according to unofficial results posted by Arkansas's Secretary of State. Spencer allegedly shot and killed Fossler in October 2024 after he woke up and found his daughter missing from the family home. He found his daughter inside Fossler's truck and forced the vehicle off the highway before an altercation led to a shootout. Again, I don't really care what happened after that point. Somebody kidnaps my daughter, rapes my daughter, is a pedophile. Like, death is the proper outcome in that situation, regardless of how it occurs, honestly. And death by gunshot is a pretty okay way to go, considering what should have happened to the man, right? And there's his mugshots. They don't put Mr. Fossler's photo in here, unfortunately, but he has won the GOP primary for sheriff in Arkansas, which gives him a great shot of winning it overall. That doesn't mean he's out of the woods with his murder charge, of course, because he's not a felon as of right now, but he could, of course, actually go down for that in the future. But at least it's nice to know that there's people out there that will support justice in that manner. Now, in alternatively good news, so Mr. Spencer wins his election. Dan Crenshaw lost his by double digits. Now, I don't know anything about Steve Toth. I don't know whether he's cool, whether he's based or whatnot, but I know Dan Crenshaw is cringe. I know he's a liar, and I'm very happy to see him go. So, Tel Aviv's strongest soldier, Eye Patch McCain, he's gone. Goodbye. So later on this year, hopefully that is the last we'll ever see or hear of Dan Crenshaw. Maybe he will fix his alcohol issue, or he'll show up at Tucker Carlson's house and kill him in the middle of the night because he threatened to kill Tucker the next time he sees him. So yeah, maybe that.
So stupid for saying that out loud in a public place. Like, I hope he becomes a pirate now. Like, arg.
Yeah, I hear Somalia is hiring. Actually, they need some captains with military experience. So,
dude, he's just a piece of shit. That's all he is. He's just a fucking piece of shit. Normalize not letting special forces guys into politics. Like that should be normalized.
Or write books. Just no more books.
There's too much money. Publishing companies will not fucking let them do that.
Punished Dan.
Yeah,
he's a butt pirate. Yeah. Yeah, what's actually true is he probably will be a news contributor at some point. That's probably will be his job.
Nobody watches Fox anyways. Nobody fucking watches that.
Yeah.
Wait, can I say that?
You can say whatever you want. What'd you say?
No, I can't. I said fuck.
No, I know you can.
That's why.
Oh, that's fine. You can. Cussing is fine. It's like there's just certain things that go against YouTube's TOS, okay? You can cuss all you want. You know, it's just certain slurs that YouTube is a little finicky about. All right,
dude,
so Dan.
Somebody in chat said, "What if he gives classes?"
Classes on what?
I don't know.
Don't look in a glory hole in Tel Aviv.
I feel like we'd have to go. Like Ben Sager's putting on a class next week, and I really want to go.
Crenshaw
is that in
speeches. Like he's going to
where's
be a
that?
paid
Casa Grande? Casa Grande down there?
No, Longview. It's
okay.
It's about an hour away.
There you go. All right. Well, now, so Mr. Spencer won his primary. Dan Crenshaw, he's out. Brandon Herrera barely pulls it out. And this is good, but also way too close. Way too close for what it is. So Brandon Herrera beats Tony Gonzalez by 800 votes. 870 votes, 880 votes, right? It's very close. So now, because neither of them made it to 50%, it goes off into a runoff election between just the two of them. Now, I'd have to consult the numbers from 2 years ago, but I believe that it was flipped. Brandon Herrera still didn't make 50%, neither did Tony, of course, but Brandon was trailing Tony going into the runoff. However, this time around, Brandon is leading going into the runoff. But it's still very close. Because remember, last time, Brandon Herrera only lost by 250 votes, 400 votes, something like that.
I think it's around 400.
Very, very close.
Yeah.
Way too close for all of this stuff, right? And it's shocking to me that Tony Gonzalez can have a illicit affair with a staffer, have all of his text messages leak, have it national news, be condemned by the GOP, and somehow still have a base after the woman that he was having an affair with commits suicide by self-immolation.
Allegedly.
It's just shocking to me that you can have a career after that at all. Not to mention almost repeat your success from last time against the same candidate, right? Because this is only a couple percentage point flip. Now, I had some people that were theorizing that this is because Tony's base in Texas is very Hispanic. And apparently in Hispanic communities, they don't care about cheating at all because it's kind of the norm. So if you compare the rates of cheating between, let's say more European backgrounds and some Hispanic backgrounds, it's one is way higher than the other. So apparently, you think, I know the GOP people like to think, Mexicans, they're traditional Catholics. They'll fit right in an American way of life. And it's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's only Puerto Ricans. I can't tell the difference, bro. I'm going to keep it real with you, dude.
It's not uncommon for a Mexican father of a family to also have like a side family. Because when I worked at a car dealership, there's a lot of Mexicans that work there, and they would joke about that, but like half of them were doing that at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
My Latina wife's grandpa had a whole second family. Very normal. Damn. Somebody check Garantham's history, okay? Maybe he's just a secret Mexican and we just don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
It's a literal Mexican standoff now. We'll see how it goes.
Between Herrera and Gonzalez, the most Mexican election of all time. That's very funny. Although, speaking of Garantham, since I mentioned it, he is Trench Grenade. He uploaded a vlog with his wife heading to Garantham Ranch. And, listen, I hope you guys have a great time. I hope it all goes very well and successful. But just keep an eye on your girl. That's all. That's all. Just make sure everything's cool, right? Just saying, okay? All right? You don't want something untoward to happen, all right? While you're at the ranch, bringing your wife. Not a move I would have made, but, good luck out there. Good luck out there. Okay, here we go. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Well, one of you very specifically has been waiting for. This is the Stealth Additive Works Tisha. Now, of course, the one that you're seeing here is a little less than kosher, you could say. Stealth Additive Works, if you're not familiar, because I'm not very familiar with them. Can I just save this image, please? No, it won't. Of course, I got to screenshot it. Unbelievable. You guys can tell what's going on here, though. Stealth Additive Works, they have some very bold claims. The testing that Jay over at Pew Science has done, the Tisha mogs and murders basically every other suppressor on the list. It's really not even close, which is, a little surprising. Not, maybe not outside of the realm of logical possibility, but it performs quite well by a large margin over everything else. And it's a new company. It's got just a couple guys there that are doing all the work. Some designs may have changed, but I do want to walk through the initial controversy here. So Suppressor Chud, if you want to chime in at any point, just let me know. But from my understanding, they had a run of blems that were sold at a reduced price. One of those blems, as you see it here, is not a blem. It's just broken. That is not a functioning product.
Most of them too. Like most, if not all of them, looked like that.
So I have a few others pulled up about the differences, and these are all posted to Reddit in r/NFA. This initial one is from a month ago that kind of got the wheels spinning. But yeah, that is not a functional device. Now, a regular Tisha is around 1,200, I want to say. I think it's 1,200. And then the blems were like 7 or 8, which is still very expensive. These are not cheap items. And to receive a literal broken suppressor in the box that you should not sign for. If you sign for this, that's on you. Like if this showed up at your FFL, you should be like, no, I'm not filing the paperwork on this. Absolutely not. I'm not paying $100 transfer fee. Absolutely not. Right? But they're sold as is as blems, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts. So I'll read this off, which is quite silly. Just got my transfer in and started the paperwork for approval. Now, the Stealth Additive Works does say that they will be fully covered. So under warranty, I guess. But how could this not? How could this not just be a defective product from the get-go? How could you possibly ship something like this with a straight face? Yeah, too much stealth, not enough additives. Too many stealth updates. That's the real truth. Saw says this will be fully covered should it fail, but here's a pic of it unfired. FDE Tisha Blem they had a sale on. The crack is pretty decent, I'd say. We shall see if it blows up soon. What sort of Reddit retard is going to shoot a broken can like this?
I just want to know if it transfers as a suppressor or as a destructive device or hand grenade or something. How does that work?
I mean, yeah, it looks more like a 40 millimeter shell than it does a suppressor, right? Because that end cap, that whole back half is just coming off of there. It might as well be a 40 millimeter projectile at that point. Yeah, no, I would not sign for that. I'd be like, absolutely not. Now, there's an update. Hey, guys, just want to say both EVT and SAW have reached out to me and so far have both been great before and after this post. I expect nothing less than stellar service, and I'm not really worried. Things like this happen sometimes, especially with new products. I don't know why people are so nice about stuff like this. Like, you were promised a product, and they gave you like trash, like literal broken trash. Like in no other context would this ever be acceptable. But because, I don't know, Pew Science and Micah Mayfield talk it up, you're willing to give these people the benefit of the doubt. I mean, like, I just don't know why. Why would you even do that? It's like, no, they shipped you. Like, they might as well have slapped your face and put their balls on your forehead and said, I don't care, dude. Deal with it. I just sent you a broken can.
Time is on something like this.
Well, kinks will be worked out and there will be growing pains. That's not kinks or growing pains, dog. I bought the suppressor knowing it was a blem and knowing, again, that's not a blem. And knowing their warranty and made this post mostly to see if anyone else had similar blems that were okay to use. It's not if you make mistakes, it's how you handle. Again, this isn't like a finish issue. This isn't like a minor machining blem. This isn't something minor. This is a legitimately broken part. This is not a real suppressor and should not be sold as such. Top comment, brother, that's 2 pieces. Get 2 stamps for that. Then when he files the warranty claim, they'll say you have no claim. We sold it to you as the self-shortening model. Ooh, interesting technology. The other dude said he didn't have any cracks. You must have got the cracks from both. So apparently some of these just have cracks in them, which is absolutely insane. It's even lower back pressure now. True, dude. Jay needs to redo the testing on a broken Tisha and see if that changes the numbers at all.
Bro, that's the new ambient arm can. What are you talking about?
Well, hey, the testing hasn't come out on that, has it?
It's like I haven't seen anything circus that I have a whole other 2 pages of notes on.
Okay. Well, hey, anything you want to say on this before we move on from the initial blem run of bad cans?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have 2 pages of written notes. So I'll try to spark note it if that's what you're looking for.
No, go for you. Like, take as much time as you want, bro.
Oh, sweet.
It's your show.
So starting from the beginning, just to do a little bit of mathematical explanation as to why this.
One second, Chud. Oop. Before you keep going, your mic is cracking like just a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a setting you can change real fast, but if we could update that before you go on the monologue so it doesn't ruin your monologue.
No, absolutely. I don't even. I'm on my headphones right now. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Let me see.
Join on your phone.
Oh,
do
hold on.
you have
Nope.
AirPods?
Hold on. Is this better? Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's infinitely better.
Okay. It was taking my freaking phone audio instead of my headphone audio. That's awesome.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So, pulled up right next to me, I have the PTR Vent Spiritus 556i Pew Science Review and the Tisha's Pew Science Review. Both of these are on the Mark 18, so that should be the same ammo, all that other bullshit. Allegedly. So, looking through this, and again, sound science is very obnoxious to try to wrap your head around. So, I did a little bit of just napkin math to explain to you why the Tisha's rating is so fucking hilarious. So the Tisha is rated at 140 decibels. The PTR Vent Spiritus is listed at 144 rounded up. It's 143.7. So if you take the rough dimensions of both of those suppressors, excluding the blast baffle, which is like the giant big open part, I'm assuming Tisha's baffled length is about 3 inches with a diameter of 1.75 inches, and the Spiritus is known. I measured the one in the store today. 5 inches long, 1.625 inches in diameter, giving us 5.25 inches squared, or excuse me, cubed in our cross-sectional density for the Tisha, and 8.125 for the Spiritus. If you convert the dB ratings into a power factor, which is much more easy to wrap your head around, you get 2.51. So the Pew Science ratings report that the Tisha is 2.51 times quieter than the PTR Vent Spiritus, which is absolutely insane if you understand what the Spiritus is and how it works, because it's purposely introduced porosity. It's basically cheating in the suppressor world. It's very quiet initially. It gets dirty. It breaks down very quickly. It's not great, but it's very quiet upon its initial testing. So they're claiming, and again, this is factoring in the volumetric difference of about 42% between the two of them. They're claiming
the PTR, sorry to clarify, the PTR has 42% more volume than the
Correct.
Tisha, and somehow the Tisha is 2.5 times quieter, according to the volume ratio, or is it just 2.5 times quieter in general?
It is flat out 2.51 times less sonic energy coming out of the Tisha than the Spiritus.
Gotcha.
Which is obscene. And then you obviously take the volume into account, and it's 3.5 times. So they're claiming that their suppressor is 3.5 times more volumetrically efficient than a suppressor that is almost perfectly volumetrically efficient because of PIP. Again, PIP, totally other issues. It sucks for a lot of other reasons, but it's very efficient. It just has a lot of downsides because of it. So that was kind of the initial thing that made me really kind of like scrunch my eyebrows at this thing. It's like, really? This no-name suppressor, 3.5 times more efficient.
Have you taken into account the fact that it has additional openings in the can that increases the internal volume, as we can see here in this photo?
I have not taken into account all of the blem cracks in the new design. So, all right, let's see. So that covers the Tisha and the P review. There's a lot of closed source intelligence on why Pew Science or how Pew Science may reach these results. Again, love and respect Jay. I do think he does a lot of good work. A lot of people I can't name for a lot of reasons have told me that there's suspicion that he is either packing the suppressors or downloading ammunition. Again, all unsubstantiated allegations, but there are ways to temporarily change the sound dynamics of certain suppressors, even if you are being intellectually honest, again, with your host, the ammunition, like what is it?
Well, so right. So for instance, if I take the exact same, so if my testing parameters are the same, but I change, let's say, the powder load in one box of 5.56 versus the next, the one with a lower power load is going to perform quieter, right?
Yes.
Right.
And so
good.
All right, so this catches us up to where we were at. So this is kind of why the Tisha came on my radar in the first place, and the whole issue with Jay. And again, just a little bit more insight into the whole blem issue. it's very strange because if you understand DMLS and how it works, you're generally seeing a rejection rate of somewhere between 50 and 70% for these specific items, right? And again, there's usually only, up until recently, a couple of companies picked up their own machines, but I think as little as 2 years ago, there were only 4 or 5 print houses in the entirety of the United States that were manufacturing these, and they're doing it for everybody, right? Like big names you would recognize, not made in-house. And there will be buckets and buckets of these rejected suppressors that hadn't been serialized. That's why if you look at a suppressor, the serial number is usually laser etched into it while all the other information is printed into it. That's because it's not manufactured or serialized until it gets to the FFL. Yada, 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 long story. Essentially, very high rejection rate for these products with this manufacturing technique. And it's very odd to me. It's very, very odd to me that whatever print house was manufacturing these, again, I really don't believe this is in-house. It's possible they fronted for a DMLS printer and may explain the material choice. Again, we'll get to that later too. It's very odd that if what I believe is correct, which is, again, these being farmed out, very common, nothing wrong with it. Why was that print house sending them blems to then sell that they knew they were going to have to recall, that they then knew they'd have to replace with a different design later? That's just so fucking weird to have done. It's incredibly weird to even have the print house do anything other than hit them with a hammer and throw them in the reject bucket. It's so weird to have them get to this stage where they're getting to customers' hands.
Okay, yeah, so that kind of catches us up to what's been happening with the blems, which of course is a little bit of an older issue. If you look at some of the other blems that people have taken into, like they get a blem and the crack is either not as apparent or simply not there, it doesn't mean that there's not still a structural issue that could happen later on. But again, it is weird if what you're saying is correct, that unless they're machining these in-house, printing these in-house, there's no reason to ever accept one of these products or serialize one of these products in the first place, right? Like, why would you do that? There's an obvious crack in it. There's no point in making it a suppressor until you have to, right? You're just going to reject it and recycle it, right?
I'm not certain exactly how material recycling would work, but yes, you're certainly not pushing
you'd
it out.
At least reject it, right? Even I don't.
Yes,
even
exactly.
If you're not, yeah. Okay. Your mic is cracking again there, Chud.
Man,
I know. I'm not sure how it's going.
Phones auto switch the audio settings. I deal with it all the time with Jake's.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. All right, so here's another blem update real fast. So I was another buyer of a blem Tisha, but I have to make a post about my experience for the sake of other blem purchasers. After weeks with no response, reached out to East Valley, who were great, by the way, because they received a batch of Inconel Tishas from Saw to Sell. Before any of the replacements were mailed to customers, East Valley sent out an Inconel model for me, and I got approved because Saw doesn't check their emails. They sent out an extra Tisha to my FFL accidentally. When he asked them what happened, what they wanted to do, Matt revealed that the Inconel replacement sent was a prototype and not final production models. The prototypes are less quiet and 2 ounces heavier than what the final production model will be. If my replacement was a prototype, it stands to reason that all of the other 64 replacements are too, which again, just seems like a bad business practice. You sell somebody a blem, it has an issue, it needs to be replaced, and then you replace it with an inferior can. Right? Like that. These are not inexpensive products either. So I'd be like, no, you're not doing that to me. You're not sending me a can that's worse because you're trying to make up for your mistake. Like, why am I getting punished, the buyer, for supporting you?
And again, it's very odd, again, from an engineering standpoint. I talked about this at length, kind of with the 320, where like you see successful designs, something like with like a Glock, for example. Like Glocks generationally don't change very much, and it takes years for them to even see small change. When the next generation is visually unrecognizable from the previous, be that like the 320 and the 365 or any of the Tisha examples, like that's a very big red flag. It's the constant innovation, bro. That's just a weird admission that something very obviously wrong was happening with a prior iteration.
Well, right, and with the 320 specifically, it's like, hey, we changed material types, manufacturing types, and part design. Sometimes all three of those in a single year. It's like that's not a great idea, and we're mixing and matching different parts. So, the last little line I want to read here. For the sake of transparency, I had to make this known. It is insane to me that after the initial issue, they're still using customers as beta testers for an unfinished product, which is a damning statement about your company. Now, another interesting little tidbit is the back end of a Tisha, right? The very fat back end. Here's what it used to look like, which is, very complex, has the fins and the little cutout, little key there. And then here's the new one. And it's not the same thing. So is it the same can? No, it's not. And we'll get to their post in just a minute and their claims about the updates, but it's a completely different internal design. So it looks like they updated the internals of the Saw Tisha. I'd be curious to hear some updates on this. The two photos are less than a month apart. What do your Tisha internals look like? So the other Tisha owners, not only are some of them getting an inferior product as a replacement, not only did they have the initial issues, but now there's multiple versions of the same can floating around. So good.
Oh, sorry. One other quick thing about the replacements that I thought was interesting, not only, design and material changes. Depending on who you believe, I saw some comments saying that the prints are in-house. There's been dozens of examples of people lying about that in the past. Again, I'm not saying that is or is not true. I would just be very surprised if they are printing these in-house. Those machines are incredibly expensive, and running them is a pain in the ass. But there were examples of people on Reddit, again, all alleged, of course, receiving different saw models, like not just like different Tishas, but like completely different suppressors marked as Tishas. Like they make other cans, obviously. And apparently some people were getting totally different products, just literally with the word Tisha on the side, which is kind of weird, if true.
Yeah, that would not be pleasant. And again, these are not inexpensive items. These are $1,200 retail. So, I mean, these are not cheap products. And I think some of the other versions, I don't know if there's a price delta between the Inconel and the titanium, but the ones that I was looking at were $1,200 today. So they're not inexpensive. Like, I hope you're having a good night.
Systems in Idaho currently. I believe that. Again, there's like 5 print houses.
Chud, what are your thoughts on the Wolverine as a suppressor?
Ditto Wolverine. I mean, it's cool looking. Don't own one. If you own an AK, I'm sure it's cool because the other two choices are PIP and therefore gay.
Now here we go. This is Pew Science or Jay responding. Curious. Seems like it would need to go back to Pew Science to be retested. That is a whole new design. Someone tagged me below. Now, there was a little bit of drama here where Jay initially was like, no, that's not true. There's no multiple designs. There's no multiple versions floating around. And there's only one version of the Tisha, and I tested it, and it's the best can ever made. And then after people post photographs like, no, there's definitely multiple versions of the Tisha floating around. And, which one did you test? Which one actually has the good, allegedly, the bestest numbers of all time? So Jay responds, someone tagged me below after examining the images. I will say it is possible and perhaps likely that the version we tested, complex geometry on the first reflector, has a different performance than the one shown in the second image in the post with the more simplified reflector geometry. So again, Jay, Pew Science, tested this one that we see here. Customers are receiving one without that, which seems, hopefully the numbers are similar, but if you're selling it based off of these numbers, right? The fact that the Stealth Additive Tisha is just far and away better than the next closest can, right? Just way better in almost every way. And even on this page here, it shows that the PTR Vent Spiritus was tested on an M4A1, which is a 14.5, and the Tisha on a 10.3 is still 5 decibels quieter, which is nuts.
Just to be pedantic, the compression rating is a weird scale that he never really has explained what the numbers actually mean. The dB numbers are usually a much smaller scale combined, but it is still ridiculously over.
Well, I mean, look at the next 5 cans, right? So 44.2, 44.1, 43.7, 43.0, 42.6, right? The next 6 cans are within 1.5 decibels. the Tisha is ahead by 5.5 decibels, right? It's a huge margin that it's allegedly better with what, 30% less internal volume than the next best can.
Correct. Yeah, and like I was saying again, I just want to be very clear. The compression rating is not decibels. It's a randomized, almost non sequitur number, but it does not mean decibels. It is allegedly 4 decibels quieter than the other one.
Yeah.
Than the
so he
the Spiritus.
So he goes on to say, well, hey, update. I talked to them, and it seems that they are different versions for the Inconel and Titanium. Titanium has now been changed. Hope that helps. Blah, blah, blah. And it, just people posting pictures of the different Tishas that are out there floating around. Now, moving on to this one. This is the one that kind of caused a little bit of a kick up, a dust up. Man, I saw Michael Mayfield and Pew Science talk up the Tisha like crazy. But nothing I've seen from consumers has been good, with the issues with the initial cans, right? With the different versions floating around, with the numbers being so good as to almost be impossible in some way. What the F is going on? Getting the real dead air bait and switch kind of stuff going on. Pew Science responds, Pew Science didn't quote unquote talk up anything. We tested the silencer and performed engineering analysis, and our report tells you how it performs. We can't control what happens with the silencer and its manufacturing after the fact. We stand by our work. We're tagged somewhere else in this thread, and we had and have zero knowledge about any changes to this silencer. We are literally learning this at the same time as you. Thank you for your interest in the research, which is it's like
so passive aggressive, bro.
I know.
But
it's like,
apparently,
again,
so good.
Just a quick aside again. I do like Jay, but this dude talks for 2.5 to 3 hours of almost pure nothingness about everything he reviews. Again, I'm an engineer. If I tested something that was 2.5 times better than everything else, I'd probably be paying a little bit more attention to it than denying my lying eyes to a bunch of comments before I somehow looked at the photo they were underneath. Like, it's just, all of it is fucking weird.
No, it's actually just, it's like ambient arms, right? It's actually just breaking the laws of thermodynamics. I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's very, very real. And he keeps going on and defending himself more and more, which is fine. Now, Stealth Additive works. Stealth Update works. Did provide an update, and these are some of the prints that you're seeing here. Zane, the owner and engineer at SAW here. We're here to discuss the fins on the blast baffle, but first, please read through this. People seem to think that we're a large company. As of December, we were 2 full-time guys and only able to make 100 full-size suppressors a month. Now, the way that that's phrased makes it seem like they're the ones making them and they're limited in terms of their capacity, not just farming it out to some other print house. That's like, when I read that, that's the vibe I get. Am I off on that?
No, it's the vibe they're implying, but again, hilariously, the largest, I would argue, DMLS print manufactured silencer company, you know who they are, for years farmed it out and claimed they didn't. So it just means that they don't or won't rent out more machine time. That's all they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's just, they're not going to pay more to kick somebody else off the printers, basically.
That's exactly that.
Yeah. That said, communication can and should be a lot better. We have people coming in to help with that. It just takes time. Maybe it's just an industry thing, but why is the assumption from NFA crowd our motives is always negative and to the extreme? Well, again, I'm willing to hear arguments for this, but I don't know how you ship that with a straight face. First off, right? And then the funky numbers, that's the greatest can of all time. Your prints are failing, which if you're accepting that from a print house, you should be taking that up with them, not with the customer. There's no situation which you should ever pass. Like, this is like if Geisley shipped you an upper as a blem with a cracked barrel, and there's just an obvious crack all the way down the barrel. You'd be like, no, this is obviously not acceptable to ship, and you should be ridiculed for that, right? I mean, this could legitimately be dangerous to you or bystanders, right?
Absolutely. I don't know how they can look at themselves and consider themselves a serious business if they're going to ship out shit like that.
Also, if you're doing the whole, like, I'm a super engineer, man, and I iterate all the time, like, why not fucking say something? Why not even just a simple post, be like, hey guys, we redesigned the blast baffle and the Tisha, looks a little different. It's better for these reasons. You'll get this one.
Well,
Like,
we'll
why
get to
wait
that
for
in
us
just
to
a
find
second.
out? Oh, sorry.
The hype of the can is based off of the numbers, right? And like Micah Mayfield and some of the other marketing. That's what the hype is based off of. It's the smallest, greatest sounding can of all time, signed off by XYZ person, right? You can totally trust us. It's the best ever. By the way, we made a couple design changes to it that affect these numbers, right? Why am I buying it if I'm not buying the one that was tested? Because that's what I'm buying it for, is these numbers right here that show it being the best of all time, right? Literally the bestest ever.
One of the things that kind of stood out to me was, I want to say it was about a week, maybe a week and a half ago by now, Micah put out a video on Instagram of him shooting the Tisha, but like, I asked in an Instagram comment, hey, what aim are you using? Like, and because it sounds fantastic on camera, but like, it's on camera. So that's already problem number one. Problem number two is he never addressed the ammo. And it's, I don't like, what version was he shooting also? Isn't there like 3 or 4 different versions now? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, there's been stealth changes that a Discord user pointed out to me. I didn't even catch that. Before there was photographic evidence, there was dimensional changes. The bore went from 5.56 to 6. There were some other like weird noticeable changes too. And as you pointed out, again, just to springboard off of that, because that is a very good point, that as I was in the car, I was watching some content from a company I'm much closer associated with. And when, you know, a real suppressor company does flash tests, they do 2 things. Well, really 3. They record in the visible and the IR spectrum so that you can see kind of the flashing. You can also, you'll see that they record from an oblique angle so that you can see almost into the muzzle of the can, not directly from the side. And they record in a very high frame rate so you can catch all the sparks and stuff.
Now, the one thing that was interesting about the Micah video that he put up, I think it's the same one that I'm thinking of, but that was the titanium version at night, right?
Yes.
And almost
he claimed he did both.
Well, but almost no sparking at all. None. Like literally 0 sparking.
Well, it's because the camera was recording in white light only from a completely perpendicular angle in a really shitty frame rate. Like, the video proved nothing, in my opinion.
Well, right, because that's the thing, is you use a video and it's kind of like, it's deceptive marketing in a way, because it's showing you like, wow, a titanium can with 0 flash signature, I truly can get the best of all worlds. And then you go out there yourself again after buying it because of the numbers, buying it off the flash performance, the, you know, supposed sound performance, all of this sort of stuff. And then it's not going to actually perform like that, because you're going to get it in person and be like, oh, that is spark, that is flash, but it's because of deceptive editing or angles or whatever else it might be that it's making it look as good as possible. And I do want to continue on here. That the NFA crowd of our motives is always negative and to the extreme, question mark. That is kind of a bummer. Dude, I don't know why. I do want to kind of drop this and move on to another point, but why is it sad? Like, yes, the gun community should hold its own to a very high standard if you're not willing to meet that standard, which, by the way, this is a $1,200 can. If Tuna Can was selling you a can for $199, guess what? We don't really care about the numbers, right? We're buying it because it's cheap, dog. You know, but if you're saying it's $1,200 and the best can ever, it's not those things. Well, guess what? You get held to that standard now.
There's a thing called toxic positivity. And
100%.
Reddit suffers from it heavily, no matter what subreddit you're in. Even gun guys will be subjected to toxic positivity. Stealth Additive Works has gotten a lot of grace from r/NFA, and I don't know. Like, I hope they're successful, but I mean, it's not looking hot right now. I don't know where they are going to go from here. Because I mean, Micah's name is attached to this. I wonder what's going through his head as all this is happening. Because like his name is attached to this technically. Oh, bro, is it that bad? That face doesn't look good, bro.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. Okay, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. We are an employee and product focused business. I call the shots. No board members or revenue managers to please. If we are doing something, it is because it is objectively and important to the product but you got to tell people about that before you ship them a different product. I have worked places where that was not the case, and it drove me crazy to not ship a better product when we knew how to make it. Again, the whole thing started because you were literally shipping this to customers. All right.
That's nuts.
The titanium Tisha, Jay tested, listen to this, is inferior in all aspects to the models shipping to customers now. So they're telling you that the can that is literally the best in every metric, according to Pew Science, that was the bad version of the can. And the new one is actually better in every way. Which, if you're already doubting the numbers, if you're already a little bit skeptical, like, that's not going to help. If you're alleging that somehow this new version that hasn't been tested and is updated stealthily, of course, you didn't tell customers about it, is somehow even better. Maybe. Bold claims there, sir. Both for titanium and Inconel. It was literally the second iteration of the 556 version ever. We are over here laughing at Reddit comments from people thinking we are gaming the system or doing things to save pennies or minutes of print time. If only we were so brilliant and crafty, very Reddit coded. We're just nerds who love to shoot, trying to make better suppressors. The machines are expensive, but we still print with finer powder and layer heights than most in the industry, and the business side is still profitable. So, again, the way that they write this is as if they are physically printing the cans themselves in their shop. And remember, there's only 2 of them, or there was only 2 of them. So, again, if it comes out that you're not, what are you doing, homie? You tagged me. Why'd you tag me in the side chat?
He wanted you to highlight Kid Corporate's comment.
No, that's got to be
curious.
That's got to be a Richard thing, dog. There we go. The ambient
I
arms
didn't see
grift,
it.
it didn't pan out, so they're on to this.
So are you? You're curious if you're referring to us or ambient arms?
I'm pretty sure he's referring to ambient arms because ambient arms got called out almost immediately, and I haven't seen much from them since. So, and I've heard bad things about their 22 cans, right?
Yeah, they're horrific.
Yeah. Anyways, back to this real fast. So again, they keep framing it as if they're the ones printing it. And if you're going to lie to your audience about printing your own cans, which again, it wouldn't be a big deal if you said, hey, we just designed them and we send them over there. You know, it's not a big deal. Everybody does it. Relax. On the version stuff, if you're seeing a change, it's because it improves the product. Well, that's what Sig said. All the customers will be receiving the improved versions of the Tisha. Sadly, for some of you industry guys, this means you will have to cut in half again. I think cars, the F-150 pre-release, okay, is going to think Glock. Within generations, there are dozens of engineering changes. Maybe over like a 10-year time span, there might be a few parts changes or manufacturing differences here and there. But again, if you're Sig Sauer P320, where you're having for a singular part, machining differences, material differences, coding differences, geometry differences in like a singular part in your handgun every year, we have problems, right? You're trying to cope for another problem that you're trying to fix, right? If you have 3 different sears in 3 different years, probably just a bad design from the get-go. And again, this is in contrast to what they told their customers that got replacements, right? Because the replacement prototypes that the 64 replacement cans were are less quiet and 2 ounces heavier than the final production model. So somebody is lying here. Whether it's rando on Reddit or whether it's business owner, again, I have no reason to trust rando on Reddit, and I have no reason to trust a business owner who stands to profit off of his lies, right? He keeps going, coping, and seething. To the r/NFA folks, a small team here at SAW sees all your comments. A lot of the comments are pretty sour. Again, deal with it, dog. We're adults here. We talk about products. Don't take it personally, bro. Which demoralizing for the small team. Again, don't make us sad or we'll cry or something. That's really gay. When we're all working long days and weekends to get stuff out to you customers, again, that's called a job. Yep, we do that. It's literally your business. If I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, making uppers for a customer, editing a video, I don't cry. Like, you guys don't understand how hard I work for you.
Yes. You got soft hands, boy. I spent
Yeah.
48 hours today at the ball crushing factory. Jesus.
Like
true.
all else being completely ignored, this singular post with no context should make you never give them $1.
Yeah, they're basically running a charity, guys. Look
Dude,
how
it's from
hard
the
they
goodness
work
of
for
our
you.
heart. We want to give you the best espresso on the market from the goodness of our heart, and also $1,200. Give me $1,200. That's a lot of money for a suppressor, by the way. Like, especially because like it seems most cans hover around like the $1,000 to like $800 mark nowadays. And like I'm at my gun store today, dude. They're on sale. Like, there's a lot of them that are just on sale. I saw a cat that was like instead of 12 or 13, it was like 1,000 flat. 1,200 is a lot of money for a can that I haven't seen anybody normal shoot either. Like, no normal person has shot one besides like I've seen Reddit normal people or people who are big on Reddit that are whose names are known.
There's the dude doing the garage pops.
I want to see more people release their independent numbers, because there's always rumors of independent numbers showing the cans in a completely different order than whatever Jay is doing over at Pew Science. Again, not saying that he's incorrect, but if other people's meters are just metering differently, and it's like, actually, the Tisha's not that great, dude, and I don't know what to tell you about that.
You know? Well, at this point, not to brag or anything, but I'm 4-0 currently on predicting the funny hype thing being painfully average. But there is another post of a random brown man in a garage doing garage pops with conspicuously subsonic 5.56, and everyone calls him out on it. It's really funny.
I've seen that video. Yeah, even his shot timer was really quiet too, if I heard it correctly. I don't know if that was my audio, but I'm pretty sure.
No, it was clearly severely doctored, and if you look at like the recoil and everything, in my opinion, I shoot a lot of suppressors. I'm going with subsonic.
Finishing it out here, in closing, we are innovating faster than anyone knows. We are literally overwhelming the patent attorneys. This is a trap I see in a lot of fledgling brand new companies, is they try to update a product like 1,000 times, right? Rather than just making a good product that they can actually sell, right? So they keep changing and updating, and they never actually have a finished product that just does its job, that just does its thing. So, and that's what you need to have, because otherwise you're going to have all these different iterations and issues, and nobody's going to have the same product. Nothing's going to be standardized. Stop doing that. Stop it. Work on another design, okay? Make one product that works. It's at the numbers. That's the price. That's the numbers that is going to do for suppression, back pressure, all the other stuff. And then just move on. Make a Gen 2, take up all that time and learning and updates and put it into a Gen 2 down the road.
So are they just patenting like completely like the same thing but with just tweaks on it, and that's it?
I guess patent law is one of those areas where I talk to people who own the patents, and they're like, these people, all these idiots are just violating our patents, and we're just going to eventually go after them for so it's like people are trying to write patents on top of patents that they don't have or don't own.
Oh, so they're patent trolling, like the Rothschilds. Very cool business tactic.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't even want to talk about patents. I don't care. Very few of these companies are actually doing something cool enough to warrant a patent that hasn't been patented since like 2012, if you look into it, or 2014. You know, like the ambient stuff, if you look at the actual patents, it goes to a totally different company in 2016. Wild that they're just running over it. And then there's companies like Troy where they're like, we have a welded high back pressure can, and that's what we sell. Deal with it, bro. you like that?
That is
Deal with
hilarious. It. Yeah. Here's our one can. It's high back pressure. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't care. Deal with it.
I did sorry, are you done with this? I feel like
I'm done with it now, yeah. Well, we're moving on from there. Finish off with whatever you want to finish off there, sir.
I guess the only two things I had to say that I didn't cover was that Saw's other cans are abysmal dog shit. If you look at any of the other reviews, like I think Admin reviewed their 22 can, and it's just go watch it. And then Red Right Hand reminded me of the last note I had here. Yeah, engineers love talking to each other. That was kind of the biggest red flag for me with Ambient. And the fact that Jay refuses to release his methodology, refuses to release his procedures so that other people can test behind him, that's weird. It's very weird. It's a bit odd, isn't it?
Well, listen, Chud, you need to give him $100 a month to find out his methodology. I do love that on his website, to get his full access, you have to spend, I think the cheapest option is $100 a year. And then it's, yeah, $100 a year is the cheapest option. It's like $8-9 a month, something like that. And then there is a $100 a month option.
He's not beating the juice science allegations.
Yeah, monkey
which is
like what I'm talking about.
He took the Jew science joke literally, and it's like, no, to me at least, like the Jew science joke is his name is Jay, and his like name is, or the company name is Pew Science. You
J
put
Science
those two together and call it Jew Science. But he's like, we don't hire any tiny hats here. And I'm like, dude, oh my god, man, read the room, please. It's a joke. And then Reddit just ran with it, like, these guys are anti-Semitic, and I'm like, you guys can't even read the room either. It's retards talking.
These guys can't handle a joke. Unbelievable.
No, they can't. They literally can't.
Well, I think that wraps it up for the stealth additive works section. We're going to get to your guys' question real fast, and then we're going to get into rage bait. Jake, before we do, how's your night going, bro? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making it. Very ethnic timing.
My night, yes. I am on black time right now. My night's been great. I'm drinking whiskey. I'm arguing with people in the YouTube chat. It's awesome. This is a great night.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to questions here, and I saw there was some suppressor questions, and we have a suppressor Chud who can answer your questions. So great. Logan sucks at shooting for 15 months. Says no way Negev is ever coming to Girls Frontline 2.
No.
You couldn't imagine. Thank you, Logan.
The Jew fears the samurai.
Logan needs to be banned from the internet.
Logan sucks at shooting for 5. We should put him in a camp, huh? Says, for those that don't know, Negev is the T-doll in the top left of the thumbnail. She's the Jewish one. I didn't even realize that's what that was. I just put it in there because Arrow told me to put it in, so I did.
Does T-doll stand for like tranny doll? Is that what it is? Is this some kind of like weird sick thing, Logan?
See, here's the thing, Jake. I don't know what the T stands for, but the fact that your mind went to tranny first, that really says something about you.
Jake doesn't beat the gay allegations, bro.
I'm basing it off of the stuff I've seen Logan post recently, okay?
All right, sure. Amrite Boy for 2 says late and gayer than a priest in an all-boys orphanage. Damn. Ouch.
That's rough, buddy.
Amrite Boy, relax. Everyday American for 5 says, did we get a consensus on the ambient arms can? I know there was some disagreement on it, but I still like the idea and kind of want one. Well, it's rather expensive, and I'm sure there's low back pressure. I don't know how good the sound or flash support performance is going to be, but I mean, it is cooler than other cans on the market, and yeah, after 30 rounds, you can grab the end.
There's nothing on it.
It's a $1,400 suppressor with a horrific signature reduction in both sound and the visible spectrum, and the gimmick is one, doesn't work, and 2, why do you want it even if it did?
Yeah. Thank you, Everyday American. Well, because it looked cool in a Grantham video. Redneck Bunny the First for 5 says, we all know the little people's goal. Would a nuke not be a cheaper option? Yeah, I'm not sure about the efficacy of nuking certain countries, certain problematic countries in the Middle East. Josh for 5.
A nuke doesn't make you as much money. Like the military-industrial complex does not benefit as much financially from
True,
a nuke.
Dude. You know, a couple $1 million for a nuke, or like many, many billions of dollars for interceptors.
Yes.
Josh for 5 says 5 upvotes and Noob Actual gets kicked from all your socials. He's not even a paying member, bro. Yaps too much. Noob Actual getting called out. Noob does talk a lot. He doesn't stop talking. Everyday American for 5 says, watching the United States destroy a country who's been chanting death to America for decades, based the reality that it helps out Israel, not based. Well, you say that, but we've also been saying to bomb Iran for the last like 50 years. So I think we've both been saying that we should kill each other for the last 50 years. And it just happens that we have the guns and the bombs and the, ties in the Middle East. Thank you, Everyday American. CM Scar for 2 says, John, how was that cheap tuna can? Jesus is king. Christ is king. So no, I shot the tuna cans on the Novox Precision integrally suppressed build. I had some, I totally didn't grab that to make sure it didn't fall. It's really big and quiet because it's takes 115 grain blazer brass and makes it go like 1,000 FPS, so it's subsonic. So it works. It does its thing. It was hearing safe. You'll see a video of it on Instagram tomorrow, I think. Thank you, CM Scar. Appreciate it. And it's really inexpensive. It's like $300. Ronnie for $20.
Are you trying to have sex with me?
Says Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you, Ronnie. Hope you're having a good night out there. Appreciate it, sir. Everyday American for 2 says Operation Praying Mantis Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Yes. The most pious bug. Thank you, Zanico for 5 says, can we discuss the Centurion Mark 11 later tonight? I know Timu Vintage wants to talk Beretta. No, he doesn't want to talk Beretta. Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about with the Centurion Mark 11.
And what about Beretta? Like, Beretta really isn't putting out anything new right now. I mean, there's that.
I think it's referring to them trying to acquire Ruger.
Oh, well, we did talk about them. We talked about that last week.
So
yeah.
for just
old news.
I hope Beretta does. Maybe Beretta will make Ruger good.
Yeah.
Look at Colt with CZ. CZ actually made Colt good nowadays because Colt wasn't worth a shit like 3-4 years ago. I want to say before CZ acquired them.
Everyday American. Cool. Yeah, no, I like the bolt release. That's nice. It's probably hyper expensive. Everyday American for 5 says, you've never seen a quote-unquote pure-blood Jew do physical labor. Well, Orthodox Jews literally don't do that. They literally get paid to not work. When you realize that, everything makes a whole lot more sense. Their physiognomy, their athleticism, all of that. Checks out. Thank you, Everyday American. Frog Commander for 10 says, let's see those piggies, John. They were promised to us 3,000 years ago. Nah.
Don't get to hide those piggies. What's wrong with you, Jake? Why are you so scared?
I think that's one of the first super chats asking to see your toes, John.
My toes have been on screen. You can go back and find them.
It's a welcome reprieve for me, honestly.
Well, now that you're saying that, they're just gonna start flying right at your face, dude. Right at your face. You brought it up. Everyday American for 10 says, there's an old-timey thing about Hispanics where the patriarch has multiple families. Same deal with World War II guys chasing Eurotail while overseas. It was all good when they got back. I'm not condoning their actions, but if you were trapped overseas with hot European women for 3 years, things happened while you were off base, right? I'm not condoning the actions, but just saying. Thank you, Everyday American. Central Sands Defense for 2 says, saw probably whoopsie daisies, little oops. Just listen, if I got an $800 can and it showed up in 2 pieces, I would be doing a little bit more than a whoopsie doopsie. Lost Arrow for 10, definitely not on the panel with us right now, says, who is that Lost Warfare guy? He's super handsome. Like, gosh, Mr. Josh.
That's so true. That's actual facts.
Do you realize, Jake, that you just called 2 other men attractive?
Yeah, I got some handsome friends, all right? Is that a problem, John?
It's not a problem. Not to me. Doomer John for 5 says, because Reddit said they are good, so they will be total glazers and let the company get away with it. Well, they're not being very happy with Tisha right now. See, all that toxic positivity, I think it comes around. It's like a karma, okay? There's too much positivity. It's going to turn. It's going to turn at some point. We're seeing it.
One of the issues I have, though, with the toxic positivity on Reddit is that, like, it feels like there's an inability for criticism unless something like this comes out. But the vibe that I'm getting from Reddit right now is that they're still giving Stealth Additive Works like a lot of grace. And I'm like, dude, if this was Dead Air 2 years ago or 3 years ago, bro, heads would be getting lopped off if you talk good about Dead Air on fucking NFA.
Yeah, because their cans were blowing up on screen, which this can would literally blow up on screen. Quite literally. Tondox for 2 says, Trench taking his wife to Garantham Ranch was part of a deal. Or part of the deal. Well, that's disturbing. Just a Gun Guy says, I know Zane at Saw. Good stuff. Accidents happen. Well, thank you very much, Just a Gun Guy. I appreciate that. And I do agree that accidents do happen. But if just one person saw the print quality on that, saw the crack, there's just no way that you should morally be able to ship that, right?
Especially, you should answer all of our fucking comments in the chat. buddy.
Damn.
Thanks for outing your YouTube channel, retard.
Wait, which one?
There's only one person. There's only one dude this could be.
No, Just a Gun Guy. No, he's a real Instagram account. You don't know Just a Gun Guy?
Okay, you're saying this isn't Plant? Okay, my bad.
I don't know who it is, but I mean, I've had this guy on the show before.
Okay, different.
We're talking about Plant on the Discord. Plant's been dodging Chud.
Oh yeah.
Like Neo in the Matrix, bro.
Been dodging the accountability.
Yeah, it is funny to watch.
No, Just a Gun Guy is Just a Gun Guy.
Okay.
That's for Stater. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like
that's what they're saying.
I like people too. I like people as well. Okay, and I
That's
get
literally
sticking
what
up
they're
for
all
your
fucking
bros.
saying.
I get sticking up for your bros, but like, just admit that your bro made a mistake. That's all. Happens. Thank you, Just a Gun Guy. Appreciate it. Everyday American for 5 says, I thought we determined Pew Science was actually just Jew Science, selling off trade secrets to different companies without permissions. We didn't even talk about those allegations, but I mean, those are out there as well, and he is involved in litigation that is unfortunately sealed now, so you can't get access to it. But that did happen. Thank you, Everyday American. Everyday American for 2 says, give me my welded steel cans. God, too fancy. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, my cheapo YHM cans are at about 50 to 100,000 rounds between the two of them, and they're still holding up just fine.
I dream of an America where we have a turkey in every pot and a tuna can suppressor on every gun. Inshallah, this will happen.
Inshallah. Thank you, Everyday American. Yeah, we should just become an unironic tuna can sponsor and just be like, no, they're awful cans. They're horrible. They're not good. They're not durable. They sound like garbage, but they're cheap. And that's the entire selling point. They're $200, dude. What, you ain't got $200 in your pocket? Poor. Doomer John for yeah, Barogi. You can't afford a tuna can, Barogi. Doomer John for 5 says, Chud about to start at the beginning of his suppressor history, like Putin talking about Russia's war in Ukraine. He's like, well, you see, in 1884, Maxim had an idea to make his guns quieter so that his daughter could shoot.
You got to make the Tucker Carlson face where
I
he's
mean,
just like...
That is incredibly based, though. I'm going to be honest.
Just a Gun Guy says Saw is in-house. New printers, bad heat treat batch. Well, then I don't even have any excuses for them, right? Because it's their own print, right? It's literally only them that handled the can. It's not like they hand it to some, $12 an hour guy in shipping. It's just the two of them. So they looked at it, saw, nope, that's good. They etched it with the serial number and everything, and then shipped it. Right?
Yeah, the small company excuse does not work for things like this. The small company excuse works for things like bad shipping times or like delays. It doesn't work for, yeah, we literally shipped out a completely broken product, like very obviously. That does not actually work. That works more for like the big companies that do, millions of orders every month or whatever, but you can't just blame everyone else for your problems. I know nothing about the situation, but I'm just kind of like, looking at it
giving some generic words of wisdom here from Jake, okay?
What's it called? RBC 3451 just said they just got 2 new printers so they could print Inconel, apparently.
They did just get 2 new printers so they could print Inconel because the original 2 printers they bought there was an issue when the tech came to set them up and did an update. The update removed all printing software for anything other than titanium. The new 2 printers they got can print Inconel finally. Man, that's the thing. If you say small company and we're buying multiple printers, like you're investing millions of dollars into this. So there's some serious money behind it.
Do you know how convenient it is to be able to blame all of your problems on a no-name technician? Yeah, there's some tech who really fucked it up.
It's all right, I like you can believe him if you want to. It's fine.
No, bullshit. Sorry.
He's had a little bit too much sauce. Hey, here's a way better angle of that torpedo hit, by the way. Look at that, dude. Look at those guys go flying.
Wow.
America. I hate this war, but I love seeing clips like that.
Look at that right there.
So there's 2 objects right here. Are these people or just stuff?
No, they look too small to be people. It would be funny if they were people though, but they're not waving their hands in the air.
I mean, yeah, maybe
think-
they're just buoys or something. But yeah, that is that's an oopsie, little oopsie happening in the sea. You know, maybe they should sell that as a blem ship.
Well, I mean, what was the count on that? They said there was like 100 missing, 1 dead when I first saw it. Then it was like 89 dead. I'm assuming all of the missing. That's kind of just like a fun word to like, you know.
Oh
say
yeah,
that they're dead.
Missing at the bottom of the ocean. We haven't found their bodies yet. Jessica Gunguy says Saw makes private label for other companies also. Gotcha. Everyday American for 5 says never buy a product that a YouTuber makes or partners with a company to make. Based hate all
Based.
YouTubers. Based
Yo, Jim
YouTube
alert.
hate.
Jim alert.
Gem alert. Gem alert. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong one. There it is. Everyday American. Thank you. Zanyco for 5 says, is the Discord paywalled? Nope. The Discord is not paywalled. It helps to get in if you're a member somewhere, you know, YouTube, Subscribestar, Ko-Fi, but it's not paywalled. But if we don't know you, we're not letting you in.
Yeah. Like if you haven't given the time to like talk in VC with people or like develop relationships, do not be surprised that you just are not invited. Like
too many shitheads, man.
Yeah, I went to like the Chud Zone and they didn't know you. Okay, and that's all I gotta say.
Shut up! Shut up!
No wait, what is the VC currently called? Can I read it out loud? Uma Musume War Room. Of course, it's Uma Musume War Room.
What's the other
Which
one?
Which one of you mods made that? Jake's feet fetish Q is another one. Jake, you want me to read that one?
No, I didn't know that was the name of that.
And then it's also Movies with Friends, Gay Minge, and Mill Slop. So
the one the other day was He-Man Woman Hater Club.
Based. Lightsport for 2 says, Zanico, you have to send me $300. Well, you can send him $300, but that won't get you in the Discord. That's more of an IQ test.
It will get Lightsport on Tren, which is very exciting. I think you should do it.
I need Logan on Trend. Fuck Lightsport. Fucking.
Nah, we need to get him on TRT first. We'll work up to Trend. Lightsport for 2 says, Micah needs to attach himself to a gym.
Yo,
thank you, Lightsport.
Okay, here's how Micah can redeem himself. He has to get a cheese grater, and he has to grate off at least one shitty tattoo.
Oh,
that's how he can redeem himself.
That's dark, bro.
I think personally, if Micah's going to redeem himself, if he's going to move forward in the YouTube gun space, he probably just needs to cheat on his wife and have another marriage with more kids. It works for other people, so it might work for him. We're not sure yet.
Moving on. Everyday American for 2 says, buying cans is based on noise alone is gay anyways. True, dude. True, dude. If you care about what other men hear when you're shooting, you're probably gay. Thank you, Everyday American. Amrite Boy for 2 says, you guys work? I just melt metal together. Based? Dude, Q is hiring welders, by the way. I'm sure you're qualified. Thank you, Amrite Boy.
You're probably better than their welders right now.
Central Sands Defense for 2 says laughs and $350 YHM T2s by 4 T2s. Although I will say I kind of did want to get one of the new T3s because it's like a little bit better and a little bit lower back pressure. And they're super durable and really cheap. So if that's all you care about, the T3 looks like a slightly appealing option for poor people like me. Thank you, Central Sands Defense. Moski for 5 says, thoughts on that weird static sciences can break flash hider. There's a couple of vids on it and seems promising. All right, Suppressor Chud, what is this static sciences thing?
Well, it's that really funny looking like alien dick one. I have purchased one for the low price of $2,900. It should be here in 6 to 9 months, so good luck with that. They do seem really cool. They do seem promising. They're just hilariously expensive.
Wait, is that the one that we shot at? Is that the one we shot at SHOT Show?
That is the one we shot at SHOT Show. I bought the 338 caliber one though instead of the 5.56.
Is that the pseudoscience like weird rectangle?
Wait. Say again. You bought the which one?
I bought the 338 caliber.
Oh, that's like actually insane. Yeah, it's
that's
this one.
That's gonna be like an actual
this hideous thing
from a house.
Yes,
yeah,
that one.
See,
what is the weight?
Dude, I'd be lying if I said I knew. Let me check. I'll get you.
It's got to be 2 pounds.
I was about to say 2 pounds with both of them attached. It's got to be around 2.
Is that the one that has the clip-on like extra blast?
It's the one you're seeing here.
That's cool though. In my opinion, that's kind of cool. It looks ugly as sin, but it's cool. It's a cool concept.
So having shot it on a 5.56, I thought it was the best can that we shot there.
Yeah,
It
but
better
it's
be.
also like a pound and a half on the end of your gun, and it gets hot fucking quick.
Quite literally, though, if it's gonna look like some like evil anime character, like alien penis, it better be the best performing suppressor, because
Buddy, you're
it's
not
not
beating
looking.
the
It's not looking
allegation.
good.
Why every time something comes up, it's like, oh, why is this anime horse penis on my screen? Ah.
Dude, you got a filthy mind, bro.
Yeah, I got a fucked up stupid chud mind, bro. I say all sorts of shit.
You wouldn't last a day in my chud world.
You
Thank you,
wouldn't.
Moski. CM Scar for 5 says, Jake's being big gay, saying he's never seen me in the chat before. Very J-coded, Jake.
Dude, okay. This guy says he super chats every stream. He said he's in
He's in a lot,
been
yeah.
in all the discords. I literally have never seen him before. A bunch of other people said they have literally never seen him before. So
I think he's
that's
been
not-
super chatting for a couple weeks. I don't know how
that
far
is
back
not.
it goes.
He said 2 years.
And
That
CM
is
Scar,
not-
like, if I have just forgotten you, I apologize. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm very
this
grateful. Thank you.
This is me giving you some advice. That's not our fault. If we don't know you, you got to come out of your shell, engage, and build some relationships. Be a part of the community.
Well, they did change the
that's all I gotta
usernames
say.
around not too long ago. Remember?
Ah,
Yes. Oh, that is true. Is true. Is that they went from the @ to the username and back and forth. It's been very obnoxious. Thank you, CM Scar.
oh, yeah.
though.
Then I have no
I-
idea.
Listen. If Jake doesn't appreciate you, I do. Thank you, CM Scar. Red Right Hand says Barrel and Hatchet will be testing the ambient arms on the Reki RPD here soon. Cool. Heck yeah.
Nice.
I hope it blows up. For unrelated reasons. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, I hate this military industrial complex line. I own stocks in all the big companies. None of them are printing right now. AMD only one up big this week. Just you wait, good sir. Wait
Yeah.
until it announces a ground invasion in 2 weeks' time.
Give it a
okay?
few months. When Dick Cheney rises from the grave and just reanimates and starts sucking in money from
Did you
all of his
see-
companies.
Did you see the picture of the mound that's been growing in the middle of his plot of land? It's just
No,
like perfectly in the middle. It looks like he's pitching a tent right out of the grave.
it's like a war boner.
I'm gonna-
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be honest.
They're gonna call every IRR guy back like me, and I'm just gonna pull a shake from Aquasine Hunger Force and be like, bah! Nope.
Jake, there's something coming up that you're not gonna like, bro. I'm gonna tell you now.
That's fine.
AK-47 Uprising says Saw Blem cans should need 2 Form 4s. LOL. Yeah, somebody make that joke on Reddit. Very funny. Thank you, AK-47 Uprising. Bloodbase for 10 says absolutely nothing. And for that, you get what you want, which I'm going to assume is
You
Candace.
don't get to ask those questions. What's wrong?
Thank
God,
you.
she's a freak. I know it.
There's something wrong with that girl, okay? But
Dude,
maybe
she
you
would
can
do
fix her.
crazy things for a KFC 20 piece. I'm just saying.
Heathen from Texas for 10 says, which 9mm can should I get for my MP5 with Trilugs? Looking at either the Obsidian 9, Gemtech Lunar 9, JK155 RPX 9, or the JK105 CCX 9. Dude, all of those names need to be done away with and the people who came up with them killed, okay? Way too many letters and numbers in random orders.
What
Need
are
a
these-
skinny...
What does this
Go ahead.
mean? What does this mean?
Needs a skinny
JK.
can to fit under my UTG Pro extended handguard. All right, Suppressor Chud, which one of those cans are you buying?
Of that choice, that's easy. Obsidian.
The Obsidian? Okay, the Obsidian 9 is the obvious answer. Heathen from Texas. I totally knew that. Jim Eagle says, Focus Trip laying in bed sick as a dog. Can't sleep. Thanks for being a good distraction. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. Godspeed on recovery. Anyone else feel a little more chronically sick these days? Yeah, it's called the Goislop. Too much Goislop in your life. Also, don't drink tap water. It makes you retarded. Todd Dogs for 2 says, Jake cries out in pain as Candace, counts Tiggies.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
No, stop. Lightspore for 2 says, I'll fund Logan's TRT trend fund. There you go. Based. We should start a counter. It's just like a donation goal, but it's for Logan's TRT. Thank you, Lightsport. Jay Lewis for 5 says, y'all friends have the greatest night. You have the greatest night, Jay Lewis. Appreciate you, man. Moon Man for 5 says, all involved in whatever we're talking about and a moving bus, but under it. Based killing people? All right, well, Moonman, you tuned into the best part of the night. Baseball Kid over on Rumble drops a subscription. Appreciate it. And then Baseball Kid for $20 says, full Jake Foot rap video and clip the song for the Clips channel. It's pretty catchy.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, Jake money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's.
Bass, let's go. The full 30-second flip there. Was that
awesome.
Enough, or did you need more, Jake?
No, it's okay, John. I might take a little break and go blow my fucking head off.
Just walk off screen. Little flash.
Well, I guess that's it.
Tarke over on Ko-Fi says test and trend, maybe. I think he actually threw that in there before the stream. Let's see. San Frangelico Goy for 5 says, I just got doubles. Says, can Nuga get the new Discord link got left behind in the old one like an orphaned baby? Yeah, I can send you the link. Thank you, San Frangelico Goy. KJ for 5 says, just stay away from weird-shaped cans. They're usually fighting physics with unsubstantiated claims. Saw's design is just inducing higher failure rates at in-printing to look unique.
That is
Thoughts on
fair. I don't know if he's here, but I will say it is fair. Like, the more ornate a can looks in the display case, the more I'm like, okay, like, maybe stay away from this. Like, all of the maybe it's the rugged cans. The rugged rifle cans, they look cool, but I've heard kind of like very mixed opinions from them. So I'm just like, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I
Joshua
like the
Howard,
ones that just look like a tube. They don't have to like.
Yeah, can I just get a
tube.
tube
Just a
with
tube.
a normal name?
Can I just get a
Tube.
There's a Texas suppressor company. Like, I forgot their name. I see them on Instagram, and one of their cans, their hunting cans, is called the Goy. It's so funny. Yeah, I wish I saved it. I wish I knew. But it's
yeah, dude, I got the new Goy Gen 2 on the end of my rifle.
It's a 30 cal can. It's called the Goyim. It's so funny.
Amazing.
Nice. Joshua Howard says, what's the best 5.56 can for poor people asking for a friend? Shoot, what's the cheapest 5.56 can that's out there right now that's not horrifying?
OCL, but you're gonna get a lot.
OCL? A lot of back pressure, but yeah. Polonium K. Dude, the Polonium Ks are under 500 right now.
That's not bad. Any YHM cans? I think people are saying they found YHM cans.
The T3s, the new T3s, or the Fat Cats are 500-ish, roughly. It's not terrible.
I feel like for the price, you can't go wrong with the Polo. I mean, the gas is an issue, but there's ways to deal with that. Not ideal to have to deal with a side effect of a can, but I don't know.
The T3 has a little bit lower back pressure. The AB10s, sometimes you can find those for dirt cheap. I don't think they're great, but you can find them for dirt cheap sometimes. Yeah. All right. Well, fine. Well, we're not really caught up, but I'm going to pretend like we're caught up so that we can get to Rage Bait, because all the good people in the chat have been waiting to rage against the machine. Again, to anyone on the panel who needs to take off, I have a bunch. I have a bunch of Rage Bait here. So if you can't handle the ride, get off now. That's all I'm saying. All right, no takers. Here we go. So this was a case that has been updating over the last week or so, and the updates to it, do not make it any better. In fact, quite a bit worse, quite a bit more rage-inducing, one could say. Breaking 12 and 13-year-old charged for a brutal rape of a girl in Miami. 12 and 13 years old. I'm just going to go through some of the little... We're not even there yet, Jake. Don't you worry. 12 and 13-year-old boys being tried for the rape of a 12-year-old girl. They shoved rocks in her mouth to prevent her from screaming. Now you're like, wait a second. These are children. You can't release names of children in an arrest. You can't do that.
Oh, you can in Florida.
You can when you try them as adults. So yes, this 12 and 13-year-old boy are going to be men according to the law and will be subject to, hopefully, the premium justice. They shoved rocks in her mouth to prevent her from screaming. So Nelson Nunez and Josiah Jones, they always got to spell it like one letter off.
It's like that
reason.
Jesse guy. Remember that guy?
Jesse Smollett or something.
Jesse Smollett, yeah.
This is brutal. Like, this is like...
I mean...
Don't worry, guys. There's a lot.
It gets worse?
This story keeps going.
Good.
Wait till you hear from the dad.
No.
Wait till you hear from the aunt. Free my boy, they didn't do nothing, man.
I will say, John, I've never actually thought about the prospect of giving out capital punishment to people who are under the age of 18, but I'm totally okay with it in certain circumstances.
Well, they're adults. They're being tried as adults.
They're being charged as adults. Sorry, kid.
Nope,
it's really their parents' fault at this point, but they,
I just want to know.
There's still some responsibility you're going to bear, and in my mind, that should be a rope. But
if they interviewed the dad, how'd they get the camera into jail?
Yeah, well, many questions about the dad's role in their lives, right?
That was a good one, Richard.
That PFP is horrifying, by the way.
No, I know. That's Europe. That's UK right now. They were like, oh, hey, if he comes back, just call us again. You're not going to arrest the guy?
You can't defend yourself. There's like, nah, man.
Anyways, let's listen to this, shall we?
This community garden on a June evening became the scene of a horrific crime at the hands of...
So you're 12 years old? You're 13 years old?
Two middle school aged boys.
We have a grand jury indictment charging...
Now facing serious charges to include kidnapping as adults accused of a violent act of sexual battery. The 12-year-old victim telling police as she was leaving her friend's house, 13-year-old Nelson Nunez grabbed her, forcing her onto a couch in a community garden. Another boy restrained her, she said, and as 12-year-old Josiah Jones put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming, Nunez, she said, raped her. The co-defendants only stopping about 30 minutes later when they heard her father calling out her name. And just...
I do want to be clear here. That was 30 minutes of violent rape after stuffing rocks in the 12-year-old girl's mouth while three of these people held her down. And it is not until her father came out, because she had not made it home yet, and started calling her name that the boys stopped. And I shouldn't even say boys. There's another word that we should use.
John, we're not even
minutes.
2 hours in yet. Come on.
30 minutes.
Come on.
30 minutes of 12, 13 years old and another one who hasn't been named yet. Huh. Here's the thing, dude. I just think that at certain times in hypothetical situations, if I was ever privy to an event like this, there wouldn't be a need for a trial, right? You would just end it there. Right? Surely. Anyways, we'll continue.
Calling out her name. And just minutes ago, we learned from the Miami State Attorney's Office that there is a third co-defendant, a 15-year-old by the name of Xavier Tyson, who is also facing the charges in connection that he has to this incident as an adult. And those include felonies of lewd and lascivious, as well as false imprisonment.
Incident.
Yes. And Mr. Xavier Tyson, not pictured, 15 years old. So 12, 13, 15. Random 12-year-old girl walking back home from her friend's house in the, little neighborhood, walking by a communal garden, a communal rape center. And they hold this young child down and shove rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming and rape her for 30 minutes. Until her father comes out and finds them.
Yeah. I want to say something. If you are a father of a daughter, you can't let your kids do this shit, man. Like in a perfect world, you could let your children walk around on the sidewalk and you don't have to keep them within, line of sight. But it's 2026 and there are Neanderthals like this roaming the streets, you as a father are responsible to keep your daughter safe. She is innocent. She cannot help herself. It is your responsibility. Do not let your kids fall into a situation like this. Like seriously, this gets me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we both have young children, right? So
Yeah.
of course. And I'm like 30 years old, dude. When I was
Yeah.
a kid, we in Washington State off of I-5, we would just bike around the neighborhoods, through the little towns, through the cul-de-sacs. We would just go everywhere. I would just hang out with my brothers and sisters, and we would just go places all the time. We never thought about danger. We never thought about, it probably was still dangerous back then, but certainly not as bad as it is now.
Yeah.
But in like populated cities and metropolitan areas, we would just be kids and have a great time. That world is gone.
Yeah.
That world is over. That doesn't exist anymore.
I see
you can
people
put your head in the
saying-
sand. You can put your head in the sand and try to ignore it, but certain types are not going to ignore you, your family, your loved ones, and it is your responsibility.
I see people saying in the side chat that I'm blaming the father. Yes, the father is fully responsible for his daughter. Like that's just full stop. That doesn't mean that these kids are not also fully responsible for their actions. But as a father, you are 100% responsible for what happens to your children. And you
100%.
have to own that. You have to make that your life mission to protect those children. That's what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, you are the father. The buck stops with you.
Yeah.
I give the guy a little bit of leeway because, the friend's house had to have been really close. And it's like, okay, you're going to be back here at 5 and then I'm going to come, check out. It's something in a normal society, in a good society, in a just society, it would be totally normal for your children to be able to walk from house to house without getting dragged into a communal garden to be raped for 30 minutes.
100%. And
are they on trial? Oh, good. My bad.
They are on trial. Yes, they are indicted with all these other charges as adults, the 12, 13, and 15-year-old.
Because I don't know if y'all remember, but last year, when that, I want to say Frisco teen got stabbed by Carmelo Anthony, I want to say his name is, that got pushed all the way.
That's a basketball
over
player,
a
I think.
year. Well, they had the same name. They legit had the same name or something less.
That's tragic, actually.
They look the same.
What's it called? That got pushed an entire year, like to June of 2026. So I'm gonna see how that goes down. That was the same.
Did you see that they already spent all the money that they got from their GoFundMe?
Yeah, and the black community was pissed at them. They're like, we gave you like, I think they raised like over 500,000 or close to $1 million, and they
but they bought a house.
I don't know if they bought a house. I thought
I know they bought cars. I know they bought a car.
They bought
I think they
bought a
big
brand
black
new
Escalade. Yeah,
I think they
that.
rented a house and rented an Escalade because,
a brand new Escalade runs you about like $90,000 to over $100,000, and if they bought it cash, and they also hired the same lawyer, he did another high-profile case that I think the defendant still got guilty on. I forgot his name though. I'll have to look into it later.
All right. Well, let's speaking of fathers, shall we? Let's listen to the father of one of these young men give his side of the story here and try to justify his son's actions.
This is a 12-year-old boy we're talking about. We're going to leave him in jail and put a life charge on a young man, a young black man that was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong 2 kids.
Marvin Jones's son, Josiah, is charged with battery and false imprisonment, charges related to the rape of a 12-year-old girl. A police report says the victim says his son, Josiah, held her down and put rocks in her mouth to stop her from screaming for help.
I'm going to agree with the dad here. Your son shouldn't spend a day in jail. Not one.
Yes, unironically.
Don't even worry about it, sir. Listen, I know that he was just visiting Miami because you don't have custody of him, of course. I know he was just in with the wrong crowd. But listen, bro, I'm going to take care of it for you. Don't you worry, sir. We've got a solution for you.
Dude, it's
final
Florida, man.
one.
They might push for that stuff, bro. They They don't play with that kind of stuff down there.
There's no accountability. It's like, so hey, listen, what do you have to say about your son shoving rocks in a young girl's mouth and then holding her down and raping her for 30 minutes? What do you think about that? This is a young boy. A young boy. You're not gonna go to jail for what? For rape? For raping a 12-year-old? Go to jail? What kind of world we living in, man?
A young black boy, John. Remember that. Black.
Yeah, that's very important. Very I just want to listen to the guy once again in context of all that transpired.
This is a 12-year-old boy we're talking about. We're going to leave him in jail and put a life charge on a young man, a young black man that was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong 2 kids.
Marvin.
See, and I also want to be clear. Jake's stance of, which is the correct stance, I believe, of holding the father completely responsible as the daughter is his charge, right? It is his job to protect her. I kind of also want to hold that father responsible for the actions of his kids too. You know, maybe it's the reason why he's only visiting because you don't have, of course, full custody of your child because you ain't with the baby mama. Let's be real here, dude. But maybe you're partially to blame in this system as well.
Yeah. If your kids are out doing this kind of stuff, you have utterly failed as a father, and you already know that, obviously, at least in this case. But yeah, that's just unacceptable and ridiculous. And I love that I couldn't help but laugh when he says, a young man, a young black man. Oh, boo-hoo, dude. Are you saying because he's black, he's just predisposed to raping people?
Well, no, he's saying because he's black, he deserves something more. He deserves you can't treatment. Yes, you can't put a black boy in prison like that. Like, look how hard we got it out here. We can't even rape 12-year-olds no more.
Is that what his argument was? Was it that he can't go to prison because he's black, or that he raped that girl because he was black? Because I agree with one of those, actually.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. I don't think that man was making an argument.
I think he was high.
He wasn't making an argument. He was just regurgitating a observation of like, oh, they're charging my son. They're charging my son life in prison for probably one of the most horrific crimes you could ever commit. And it's like, dude.
No, we should just all do forehead cam.
Yeah.
Forehead only cam here.
That is wild.
Forehead only cam. All right, let's go, guys. No, you can't do that. Tragic.
Well, my camera tracks.
Ruining the moment, Jake.
Sorry.
All right. Well, what about another familial person in the chain, huh? What about somebody else? Surely this one will go better than the other one, right? Right? Let's see what this wonderful, charismatic, empathetic Black Queen thinks about the assault that her nephew did on a 12-year-old. Ran a train on her, referring to a 12-year-old girl. One of the little boy's auntie, who raped and put rocks in the little girl's mouth, went live defending their behavior. Huh. Let's, I'm sure here we're going to listen to some of the greatest argumentation since the days of Plato and Aristotle. Like this, honestly, this should be philosophy 101. I am sure that this Black Queen is going to educate us all.
Spanish Honduran, he don't give a fuck. He savage. So he like, shit, you been talking about you wanted to do this to me. You finna, do me like this. So I guess he got aggressive with her, and she was like, oh no, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sleep with all of y'all. I'm only sleeping with him. So I guess whatever happened, while they was running the train on her, the lady who stayed upstairs. This
is wild.
Yeah, that's Athanasius right there, John. Quite literally. That's some next level. Wow.
Thomas Aquinas got nothing on her, dude. Sit down. Sit down, Thomas. You ain't got nothing on this lady. Yeah. Ran a train in reference to a 12-year-old girl. What are we, the Prophet Muhammad? Okay, we just need to kill you. Those two things can't go together.
It's gonna go over her head. She had like, who's Muhammad? And be like, oh god, you're retarded.
Well, I mean,
I kind of want this as like ASMR. I'd fall asleep to this, dude. Listen to the The sheer amount of syllables and vowels that are used here without anything being actually uttered.
Spanish Honduran, he don't give a fuck. He savage. So he like, shit, you been talking about you wanted to do this to me. You finna, do me like this. So I guess he got aggressive with her, and she was like, oh no, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sleep with all of y'all. I'm only sleeping with him. So I guess whatever happened, while they was running the train on her, the lady who stayed upstairs must have on her way down to check her mail, or you get what I'm saying, drop her garbage or whatever. She seen them, cause how the building is made, where the lady who seen the kids is like right there, and the farm is right there, so you can look over her balcony and see everything was going on in the farm. So I guess she spotted them. So in the midst of her spotted them, she like, what y'all doing in there? So that's when she want to yell, y'all stop, y'all stop, y'all stop. But she went home. She never told her mama anything. Going on 2 days, she never told her mama anything. When the lady came to find out who daughter it was, she went and told the stepdaddy. So when the lady told the stepdaddy, that's when the little girl want to tell her mama. They dragged her from the park, they took her there, and they raped her. I ain't justifying nothing. Let me tell you something. I ain't finna sit here and read.
So she's also lying, and she's just getting the details wrong.
Yeah,
she's just getting the details wrong.
She also sounds like an uneducated fucking ape.
Her own fan base is like, are you serious? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, you're just like lying. Dude, this is crazy.
They was just running a train on him.
They was running a train on her. Shit. And he was, I guess he was all excited, and he was getting up there and shit. Whatever happened.
Yeah.
Whatever happened.
This is a malicious gaslighter. 1 million.
Malicious gaslighter. True.
We're past 2 hours, John. Can we use the hard R safely now, or is that just still off limits?
It takes away monetization, but I don't really care, dude.
Damn. Okay, never mind.
Damn, man. And it also, I mean, it could result in the termination of my channel, but yeah.
I am black, by the way.
We push the line. We push the line a lot, okay?
She's ready to run for Congress, I can tell you that much.
That's true.
I got on here to check her. If you gonna tell a story the right way. Don't get on here trying to make it seem like my nephew on a run or for none of that. Because if he get direct 5-2, he already got a lawyer. But I know at the end of the day, your daughter ain't telling the truth. Your daughter only pressing charges because you forcing her to press charges. Your daughter was never a virgin before she got touched.
Is she calling a 12-year-old girl a whore and that she deserved it because she was a whore?
Yes.
I think this lady should be tied to like a large piece of concrete and thrown into a river. Like, okay, in a just society.
Thank you, Jake. Yes, no hard R, threaten murder. No hard R, threaten murder. Perfect.
No. I didn't threaten to do it. I just said I think that's what should happen in a just society. But we don't live in one of those.
This lady is just a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
So what I'm supposed to sit here and say? All they ass need they ass whoop. I'm an old school mama. I beat ass. My oldest daughter, 19 years old, 20 years old. I don't play that. I'm not none of them mama that side with no child. When you right, you right. When you wrong, you wrong. I ain't justified what none of them did. But when you get on social media, you trying to make it seem like, oh, it's just one side, when in reality, you know the truth, and it's not that side. That ain't finna go down like that, especially when it comes to my family.
Hey, quick question. Where's your baby daddy at, just for reference? Just curious.
This is wild.
Yeah.
How she know everything that happened and she wasn't there? Okay. Nobody got nothing to say?
No, they're raping
like I
her.
said, exactly.
The chat is metaphorically raping her right now. She's not doing well. She ain't winning this, okay?
Well, John, she can't read, so she doesn't know what the chat is saying.
Aww.
So
that's actually because like the average, Black American, African American, you know, has like maybe a 5th grade education, maybe, you know, reading comprehension. If it's moving too fast, she actually can't read it. It's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whether it's my nephew, right is right, wrong is wrong. I never justified what they did was right. At the end of the day, I told them they goofy. All y'all going after that one little pussy. It's plenty of little young girls out here that's fast. I didn't even fuck with my nephew for doing what he did because I got daughters too. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying they right what they did. But when y'all get on social media and trying to say certain things that's not true, I ain't finna sit there and let you say nothing about my nephew. He's not on no run. He has a court date. He goes in on the 5th. That's the reason why the news saying he's not getting charged as a juvenile. If anything, you heard her say in the beginning, the other little boy didn't get charged. That's the other little boy that she was having sex with before. So how y'all not finna charge him? But y'all charging the rest. Y'all supposed to charge all of them that was there. It wasn't just them 3 there. It was about 5, 6, 7 boys in that field.
6, 7 mentioned.
Oh, shit, nigga.
I just want to say.
She's alleging that there were even more rapist boys there.
6, 7. I gotta say, John, the amount of chats that are being held for review during this segment is insurmountable.
I'm not even looking at that. Is it?
It's insurmountable. We have to. I have to like
wild.
manually approve almost like it's quite a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Chat is going into protected mode. That's YouTube. That's not us, by the way. YouTube auto holds stuff. Not us at all. Shout out to the mods for fighting the. You guys are literally fighting YouTube right now, but I appreciate it.
When you get a chance, John, make my Richard's Cranium moderator as well, so I can help Jake out with this.
Just comment in chat. If you don't comment in chat, I can't make you mod. Just comment in chat. Okay, here we go. More Ebonics. Let's go. We're over halfway there.
So why is only them that's getting charged? All of them should get charged, not just certain ones. But at the end of the day, like I said, she got on here and said something about my nephew is on a run. He's not on a run. He has a court date. He's going to court. Talk about running. Man, bitch, don't play with me. Like I said, at the end of...
If I'm reading this correctly, because I'm reading on my phone, this happened last year.
Sure. Well, it's just now that all the charges are coming out and everything is coming to light.
They did pull a Carmelo Anthony and just push the charges.
I mean,
super far forward.
Well, they probably had to figure out if they could actually make the charges stick and if they could charge them as adults.
Gotcha.
Right.
Honestly,
this is demon behavior, bro.
This is typical in like the justice system. Is that justice is never served swiftly. It always takes like a year or two for it to even start the process. And then by then the public is the outcry, the uproar has kind of died down. And then they just kind of sweep it under the rug and they say, okay, well, you can just do some community service. It's okay that you raped that 12-year-old girl.
Don't you worry, Jake.
Get back on the streets.
This is only the first rage bait story of like 5 or 6. Don't worry
about an injustice. There was a army fucking I think 82nd Airborne ROTC guy. He got killed by a drunk driver, and that drunk driver only got community service. It's like, what are we doing here? Are you serious?
We're not doing shit, Arrow, is what we're doing.
We have another.
Man, these judges are so useless. You want to talk about actual waste of oxygen, bro? Actual waste of human just talent. Like, you went through all that law school to just be the most inept, incompetent person in this world.
Dude, John,
well, it's just like the voting thing we were talking about earlier. They all look the same as the people they're letting off. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wasn't it the Asian judge let the Asian driver off that murdered a couple, right?
Yep, just like Gonzalez's fucking Mexican constituents don't give a fuck that he's cheating. I'm like, okay.
He looks like me, therefore based.
Literally.
Oh. If only that was true across the board.
John, does it get worse?
That's what I'm asking for.
Does it get worse from here, or does it get better?
There's some funny ones, but there's also some like, you know. I don't think it's as bad as this, but there are at least a couple of funny ones.
Bad, man.
Yeah. All right, let's finish out the rest of this, then we'll move on. Okay, we'll move on to another section of rage.
The other day, his auntie got lawyer fee. So whatever lawyer fee I gotta pay for mine, he's straight. Long as mine's straight, my nephew's straight, that's all that matter. I don't give 2 fucks. I could give 3-5 fucks of what she's saying or what the rest of y'all side with. Because at the end of the day, I'm not saying my nephew wrong, but at the end of the day, that's still my nephew.
Dude,
I still gotta stand by his side. I still gotta be his auntie. I still gotta be the one to support them. Man, hey Sherette, I'm not caring about what these motherfuckers saying. You know that, cousin. But that bitch got on social media talking about, oh, he's on a run. On a run from where? He has a court date. You want to see that? Let me show you what his lawyer talking about, boo.
Yes, please leak your lawyer's case information.
I gotta say,
very nice of you.
I gotta say, this lady sucks. Fuck this bitch. However, I couldn't give 3-5 fucks is a base.
That's funny.
That was funny. That was hilarious.
3/5 mention?
I'm gonna use that.
What?
I couldn't. I gotta use that. I gotta use that. You know, a broken clock. Whatever they say about that.
Twice a day.
Yeah, well, she's retarded, actually.
You know, I feel bad, Jake, because I actually didn't look at the next story, and I actually think the next one might be worse in some ways because we have video of the event itself.
I'm going to say the N-word, John.
Richard did post this, though. So, yeah, the family of killer Carmelo Ente, murderer, to buy a new house and security with donated $430,000 as he's freed in Austin Metcalf murder.
$430,000. Yeah. And given the fact that, like, Dallas taxes don't fuck around, they ain't keeping that house for long, I promise you. I don't care how hard you work. If you don't have a good job, like,
look at that. Look at that. Wait, John, scroll back up. Look at that Chad who got viciously, brutally stabbed to death.
That Chad's father is also a big fat pussy too. Don't forget that.
Dude, the
Lincoln Riley, almost everything else.
Lincoln Riley's father started talking about Mexican food after his daughter was raped and murdered by an illegal alien.
Yeah. These people are stupid because they don't want to admit, hey, there might be an actual issue here.
Yeah, what's the root cause here? There just seems like there's a root cause here.
At this point, I don't care what these parents, these children who get murdered, brutally murdered by immigrants or by Browns. I don't care what they have to say if they're going to be retarded. I think we should just totally co-opt these kids, turn them into like icons and say, yeah, these people were martyred because they were white. That's basically what it is. This is white martyrdom at this point, which is crazy to say.
That's what happened with that Ukrainian refugee girl.
Yeah,
she got stabbed on the bus.
Her mom, her mom went to the State of the Union. She at least acknowledged that, like, yeah, this was a bad thing that happened. It's not because of, whatever, some stupid circumstances. At least she acknowledges that that guy was actually evil and it wasn't just society that let him down.
I'm mixing it up. That liberal girl that got set on fire on a train, the guy that set her on fire had like 40-something prior arrests, but he's also on record talking to someone else. I got that white-ass cracker bitch.
Yeah.
I got her. And it's like, so this might be a race thing. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody who has like a massive platform wants to say that out loud, though. Because
nobody on YouTube, right? Because I mean, if you're on any alternative platform, you'll just say no. These are anti-white murders by people who hate you, who do not view you as human, who celebrate your death. You may not believe in the race war, but the race war believes in you. You may not see race, but race sees you.
The only person that I seen that actually covered it that had a decent sized platform was Asmongold, but it wasn't posted on his channel. It was posted by other smaller channels that clipped it and reposted it.
Yeah, Hook has a good point. If you watch the full uncensored video of her, you won't forget her name. If you guys haven't watched the video, like, yeah, it's brutal, but all of you guys are like fucked up people and you watch gore shit. So, yeah, watching the entirety of this girl's blood drain on a bus or a train or whatever it was.
That shit was brutal.
in a
as
matter of
everybody
seconds.
walks past her, all of the Browns around her, nobody attempts to help. They all just walk past. Same with the girl who got burned. She got gasoline thrown on her and then lit on fire.
Yeah,
she's
and there's a
running
video
by.
of it.
She's trying to get away from the guy, and all of the Browns on the train just go.
If you watch these videos and you don't feel like absolute fucking rage in your heart, like a just and righteous rage and anger, you are broken. There's something wrong with you. We have to remember this shit.
Just wait. Just wait. What about a pregnant white lady begging for her and her child's life, having her head kicked into the floor, Jake, repeatedly? How would that make you feel?
I don't know if I can say how that makes me feel, John. I don't know if I can say that on this platform.
Would it be racist of me to open up a store and say no niggas allowed?
Holy shit. They're gonna give him community service.
Yeah.
Watch.
Side note, the people who posted this, the reaction people, I love their page on Instagram. I found them and they're pretty awesome. I hope they don't have like some deep dark secret in their closet like every right wing.
Of course, I've never seen them before. This is the only place I could find this footage, and their reaction was fine. So I was like, I will put that in here.
No, they're pretty solid from everything I've seen. I really like them quite a bit.
So the woman is working at this what looks to be a tech store, right? Guy walks in. She just does like the normal thing in a just society. You walk up, hey, how's it going? What can I help you with? Just starts beating on her for no reason. You don't understand, women especially don't understand how precarious their position is in life, right? At any point in time, any man, but specifically one group of men specifically, can just choose to make you not that thing anymore, right?
Yeah.
Your happy little existence is so fragile based on the will of animals.
John, what would it take for you to do something like this to another man? What would have to happen for you to get to this level with another man?
Oh, to where I literally curb stomp and beat them to death with my bare hands.
What would have to? There would have to be a lot,
ironically, it is basically this.
Yeah.
It is if I saw someone doing this, I would feel justified in ending that person's existence, or at least coming really damn close, right?
Well,
there might be a couple
guy,
extra shots in there.
For this guy, apparently walking into a store and seeing a pregnant woman is enough. Pregnant white woman.
No. Listen, he's going to kill her, attempt to kill her, and steal $100 worth of stuff, a couple $100,000 worth of stuff, and that's all he thinks the life worth. These people do not have a value of life, right? You think that life is sacred. You think that life is meaning. These people don't have that. They view you as an obstacle, an annoyance, nothing more. Run away. Run away.
Did she say I'm pregnant?
Yeah, she did. In the most terrifying moments of her life, she is appealing to a dog's empathy, right? In perhaps the last moments of her existence, she is desperately reaching for anything to save her, any thread of humanity within that thing, and there's simply none to be found. Nothing behind the eyes, nothing there, nothing to salvage. The sanctity of life, the murdering of a pregnant woman, nothing. I was just trying to get my stuff, man. Shit, dude. That bitch got my way, dude. Shit.
This is like unironically very similar to like watching someone get attacked by a pit bull, because there's no reasoning, there's no empathy, there's nothing. It's just like pure rage and just the desire to rip you apart for no reason. Yeah.
I was not aware you were part of TSD, Jake. Very basic.
Yeah, no, total shit bowl death, 100%.
Kill them all.
No, my pit bull Flower would never.
No, not my
Daisy.
pit bull though.
Dude,
not
Daisy
my
wouldn't hurt a
pit bull.
fly.
My girl got fucking ripped apart by 3 pit bulls in my
Dude,
area.
Princess
She
has
was,
only eaten 7 cats.
Yeah,
she
and
was
as bad
dog-sitting.
as bad as the pit bull problem is in this country, where pit bulls are just like indiscriminately ripping people to shreds, this problem that we're watching right here is far worse. And we should
Now,
probably deal with it.
I do have to say though, she is incredibly lucky that these people are so inept and weak that she is able to escape with her life.
Yeah,
Like
I think
can't throw a punch, missing with the kicks. Because I feel like if any competent person wanted to end the life of another human, like it wouldn't be that complicated, right?
I would say that this is God protecting her. The fact that she was not brutally murdered by this brown.
And honestly, this should be a wake-up call to any women out there, any men out there that allow their women to be in situations like this. Like, again, if I put myself in the shoes, okay, I'm going to take away God, I'm going to take away any sort of sense of morality. If I want thing A and woman standing in front of me, there ain't nothing she can do. Nothing. Not a thing. It's not even possible, dude. I don't care if you put Ronda Rousey in front of me, okay? That 40-year-old bitch is going down. You know, and you allow these people to exist and your women not to be raped and murdered just based off of random chance, luck, I guess. Because again, there's no mechanism to stop them. Even if she had a gun, she wouldn't have gotten to it fast enough. Not possible. She went up to go say hi and the guy instantly threw a haymaker. There was nothing she could do.
Yeah, but imagine if we lived in a society where the expectation for a man like that, all right, a being such as that creature, was that if I do anything at all out of line, I will be decimated. That'd be great, right?
I'll get in trouble for saying that we should put the dog down versus the dog actually murdering someone, right?
Well, there used to be a word for this that people used to do, but middle and high school social studies turned that L word into a really naughty word, despite it being pretty base.
And honestly, underutilized throughout history. If you crunch the numbers, son, if you crunch the numbers versus the murders, assaults, and rapes, it's actually very underutilized punishment. All right. Well, a couple little silly things. So this is the thing, right? All right. Men get arrested, dogs get put down. This is an older one, but just for reference, if you haven't seen this one, magnitude of this case is indescribable. Babysitter took just 90 minutes to fracture 8-month-old skull, burned hand bad enough to require skin graft, cops say. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. There is no babysitter that should look like this. Not a single babysitter should ever look like this. At no point in time should you ever let your 8-month-old spend any time with anyone who looks like this for any reason.
Yeah.
If
you let your child spend any time with someone who isn't like a nice young white woman wearing a floor-length denim skirt, you're retarded. If you let your child spend time with this man, you are actually evil.
What? So you could go out and have a night off because you were tired?
Yeah.
Get a grip. How about this? Now I love that X not community noted, but restricted it because it's too hateful. Be black, gang rape a child, videotape it, get probation. And this is something that we might see in Florida because it's surprisingly similar to the event that just happened. This is from a few years ago. 3 men who raped or filmed 14-year-old sentenced to probation. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. These guys don't look like they need probation. Like there's not a lot happening here. All right. Waste of resources. Absolute waste of resources. Now, what about
48 months probation? What a slap on the fucking wrist.
I can think of a cheaper and more final solution to this problem.
Yeah, probation. Sorry, your subscription to life is ended. Now, this is just a funny little summarization that I pulled up from something that happened very recently. So African immigrants to Europe and North America, particularly Black Caribbeans, in the UK experienced significantly higher rates of schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders compared to native-born populations. Studies show incidence rates at 5 to 15 times higher in African Caribbean migrants and their descendants than in the UK. So you are literally importing people that have somewhere between 5 and 15 times higher. They call it schizophrenia because I think they're trying to be nice and give it a term. I don't think it's schizophrenia, right? I don't even know how real schizophrenia is. But
I don't think black people get schizophrenia. I think they're just black.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. All right. African killed 3 after mental health workers released him due to racism fears. Yes, schizophrenic black British man on the left. They were afraid that giving him a schizophrenia diagnosis, and keeping him detained would come off as racist. So they let him go to murder 3. And this happened like literally 2 weeks ago. A schizophrenic... Go ahead.
Shit.
Is that one of the women that he killed?
Yeah.
These are the 3 people that he killed.
Yeah. Really based, guys. Good thing we let these people in our fucking societies.
A schizophrenic African immigrant. I'm gonna keep it real with you, dude. I hate schizophrenics. Who stabbed 3 people to death in Britain was free to carry out his violent rampage because mental health workers feared detaining him would be racist, an inquiry has heard.
Yeah.
So because you didn't want to detain him, Ian Coates, father, grandfather, member of the community, Barnaby Weber, young man. Look at this guy. Young man, member of the community, future father. And Grace O'Malley. Murdered. For what? For what possible benefit? For what possible reason? What? Because you didn't want to say, black man should be in jail because he's crazy. That might be racist. And 3 people are murdered because of it. Again, I want, personally, it's just my personal opinion, I want the judges punished. Anytime they release a criminal that goes on to commit another crime. I want the healthcare workers. Anytime they release somebody that has a mental condition that does not allow them to be out in public because they fear they might be racist, I want those people to get the exact same punishment. Right? If you allow these people out in society and they commit a crime, it goes back on you. It must.
John, you're a proponent of the idea that England is going to have a awakening before the United States, correct?
Probably.
It will be a European country first, because as bad as you think the UK is, as cucked as you think it is, it's 75% European. America's 58.
Yeah.
They are in a far better demographic spot than we are currently, right?
Like here in Texas.
We're so much more fractured too, because it would be state by state, it would be city by city, whereas other places are just not as big. They don't have as many various demographics in there, right? So like let's say Wisconsin or Minnesota haven't had enough. California's not, Washington's not, Oregon's not, New York's not. So you could have like different states imposing different rules and quote unquote having an awakening or a change, but it's not going to affect all of the U.S. Once the UK goes, it goes.
Yeah, I think England will probably be first because they're the only they're the only group that seems to have a political party that is trying to move forward. Because you have the Reform UK, that's the one that's trying to move forward. There's the Nigel Farage party who just hired that ugly ass Punjabi.
Reform is the MAGA thing where it's like pretending to be based, but it's not.
What's the other one?
Restore and Super Low are the ones that are gonna turn it around.
What's that dude's name that everyone blazes, but he's actually kind of a cuck? The guy got arrested.
Yeah, it's Farage.
No, the dude who got
Farage is
arrested.
retarded.
The good dude who got arrested and then led the whole Charlie Kirk parade and
Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is a Jew. Tommy Robinson is Tyler Levine something or other. He's like an actual Jew.
Literally a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Well, he thinks that Britain being white is racist. He's not going to save you.
Cool.
He's not a good dude.
Fuck that guy. I will say, John, looking at this, something that stands out to me when I look at the picture of that thing. That doesn't upset me as much as looking at the pictures of the people that he killed.
Yeah, it's important to keep that in context.
Seeing the faces, because it's like the media posts pictures. Like even in this very like, race conscious age that we live in, where they try not to make it look bad on the Browns. They will post pictures of these people, and you'll see them, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's who I would expect to murder 3 people. But it puts it into context when you see their victims, when you see these like nice looking normal people. This guy on the left, he's a a distinguished gentleman. He's lived a good life. He looks like a good guy. The guy in the middle, he's young. He's a nice young man. And the
19
lady
years
on the
old,
right,
both of them.
yeah, the lady on the right, she's a beautiful young lady. And these people were literally just taken from us because of why? In the name of
British
what,
politicians
John?
and British politician, well, in the name of diversity and ethnic cleansing and replacement, right?
Yeah.
Listen, look at the galactic calculus being played here. Okay, we traded this animal, for these 3 British lives. So British politicians said, you know what? We'll get this guy and we'll lose these 3, but that's a sacrifice we're willing to make here. And so again, any of the British politicians that supported immigration of any sort that allowed this man to come into the country, they should be, they should have justice executed upon them. Now, I do want to read this a little bit because it'll give you the full story. So Valdo Kalakani, whatever, from Guinea-Bissau, killed students Barnaby Webber and Grace O'Malley, both 19 years old, at the University of Nottingham before stabbing caretaker Ian Coates, stealing his van, and then running down 3 pedestrians in the early hours of June 13th, 2023. So the other victims, the other people that got run over or run down, they did not get killed, so they're not pictured here. He was sentenced to an indefinite hospital order in January 2024. So not even prison. He has a hospital stay because he's unwell, Jake. Because he's unwell. After admitting manslaughter by diminished responsibility, he's definitely diminished. I think calling this man diminished is accurate. And attempted murder, sparking anger from victims' families and a public inquiry to assess the events, acts, and omissions before the killings began in the first days of hearings on Monday. So again, this is 3 years later. We're finally getting into the details of why this man was even out and about in the first place. The Inquirer heard that Calcone tried to kick down a female neighbor's door in 2020, scaring her so much she jumped out of a window and injured her back. So an attempted rape, breaking and entering in 2020. Ah, great. After he was arrested and released for battering another neighbor's door, the Times reported, mental health workers were leaning towards detaining the violent maniac after the first attack, but ultimately set him free. The team of professionals considered the research evidence that showed over-representation of young black males in detention. There's too many black people in detention. So this guy, listen, he might have broken into a couple of women's flats, but that's not a big deal. We have too many black people in detention, so we can't put this man away.
Gee, I wonder why.
That would look racist.
I wonder
that would
why.
add to the statistics.
Why are there so many black people in detention, John?
It's because they're criminals, Jake. Another professional
they always
also
treat it like a mystery. It's my favorite.
How does this keep happening? It's just, you understand, it's just socioeconomic factors. You give them welfare, you allow them into your country, and then they murder your people. You know, it's just socioeconomic factors, of course. Mental health workers were leaning. Oh, wait, you already read that. Another professional also said that Kalakani's psychosis could be dealt with in the community. You know what? It was dealt with in the community. You're right. The community did deal with it. Was it worth it? Listen, again, I just want to talk to the medical professionals. I just want to have a word with them. Maybe something else as well.
I want to have a brick with them, a hammer, maybe.
Rachel
Sorry,
Langdale,
I
KC,
didn't say
counsel. You're good. Counsel to the inquiry said the victim was alone in the flat. She was so frightened she jumped out the first floor window, causing serious damage to her spine. Kalokane was put in a mental health custody 4 times and had a history of serious violence, but was discharged in 2022 despite refusing to take his medications and doctors warning he might kill someone. This is every single black violent felon released in the United States right now. What the heck? Dude, sorry. I just randomly got a voice talking in my head from another tab that just randomly started to spout audio. My bad. I looked like a crazy person right there.
It's the voices.
The voices are back. The voices are back. But no, yeah, no, there are literally
thousands, tens of thousands of these people out because there's too many black people in jail right now. So we've got to let these people wander around on the streets and kill your daughters and wives and sons and fathers and brothers. Nah, I just don't think we do. I just think we could fix this issue. Not a fair trade. Not a fair trade. And I'm actually, listen, if we're going to play galactic calculus, right? So the British government, their stance is that the man on the left, the animal on the left, is worth these 3 people's lives. I'm going to play the same game, but I'm just going to say that this young lady's life is worth all of them combined, right? Our measurements are a little different, okay, but we're still playing the same game.
Yeah. I would agree with that. The young female's life is worth all of their lives combined. I would 100% agree with that. And I would also, this guy's going to whatever hospital stay for the indefinite whatever that even
stay.
Whatever that even fucking means.
Listen,
He'll
don't
probably
worry,
get out.
Jake. Don't worry, Jake. In 10 years, he could be cured and back out on the streets.
Yeah, I guarantee. Yeah, John, you're right, dude. Anything is possible. But however, I would be willing to bet that this man has not murdered his last person in his lifetime, or at least raped his last person in his lifetime. I'm betting that he's gonna just do something else. I don't know why. I just got a sneaking suspicion, John.
History is a good indication of the future. At least a little bit of a guide.
Some
you can
say yes.
Yeah. Now, how about a surprisingly similar story, Jake? What the heck? Parole agents were told to ignore felon before he killed San Francisco woman on meth-fueled crime spree. Huh. Very nice. All right. Famed Bay Area personal injury attorney Ann Fung has accused... All right, the name is a little funny. Ann Fung has accused California's parole division of causing the death of Hanako Abe, a 27-year-old San Francisco woman who was killed by parolee Troy McAllister on New Year's Eve 2020. In new legal filing that cites a whistleblower email from a person inside the state agency, Fung filed a wrongful death claim Wednesday, a precursor to a lawsuit alleging that the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation's parole division ignored a December 29th plea from the Daly City Police Department to help locate McAllister, who was suspected of committing a violent carjacking while out on parole. This tragedy was not random, said Fung. Parole received repeated warnings that McAllister was committing violent crimes while out on parole, which should be obviously an automatic violation, get him back in prison immediately.
Yeah.
Honestly, shouldn't have been let out in the first place. McAllister had been arrested 4 times while on parole. A single incident should get you thrown back in jail for life. Out of the graciousness, the suicidal empathy of our hearts, we give you parole and allow you back into society, and you violate it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but at least 4 times. You should be thrown away.
Yeah.
Just
in the trash.
Daly City Police asked parole agent Roberto Vasquez to help locate and arrest McAllister for felony carjacking and brandishing a firearm against a girlfriend. Very George Floyd coded. Nice. Vasquez reportedly had access to McAllister's GPS coordinates, known residents of record, and ankle monitor data, but ignored the request for assistance. So this is the parole officer that is alleging that. And now if you're wondering what Mr. Troy McAllister looks like, yeah. And the woman on the left is dead because of it. Wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know if you were talking there, Richard, but nothing came through.
No, I wasn't. I just unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, who's the Fung? Is that the lawyer?
Fung is the lawyer. Fung is the lawyer.
Based Fung. I know you're an Asian.
Well, you know what is kind of ironic about this is that this is just more ethnic politics happening in America, because we have Asian lawyer going after the death of Hanako Abe, right? So she's filing a wrongful death suit with one of her people. Based, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Killed by, stop Asian hate. Am I right? Oh, wait, it's all black people. It's just all black people. And then we have Mr. Vasquez ignoring the requests. Right. It's just all gay race politics when you boil it down. Right. She cares about the Asian woman because she's Asian. the brown person murders because he's brown, and
Which, okay,
Vasquez doesn't care about it.
That is like, unironically, that is based. The Asian person cares about the Asian person who got murdered. Why do white people not care about when white people get murdered? Every other race, every other cultural group in the world does this with their own people. They're protective. They seek the flourishing. They want their people to thrive. But I say we broadly, obviously.
The
I think
royal
people,
propaganda. The royal we.
Yes, the royal we says that that's actually a bad thing. Don't do that. That's actually really bad. But the Asians do it, and that's based. They should do that. I love to see that, and we should be doing that too.
You should look after your family, your community, and your people in that order. That's just the way that it goes. That's the way that it's been throughout history. You don't like it? Tough. I don't care.
Randy's being a fucking retard, by the way.
Randy's not being a retard. I mean, Randy says talking about it hasn't worked, though, or improved things. Not yet. Things are going to get really bad. But the point is to dissuade something catastrophic from happening.
He says I can't make a point. Maybe, Randy, I just don't care. I don't care to make a point to you because you're not worth my time to talk about.
Oh, my gosh. Well, hey, maybe, you know what? We've had a bad run of immigrants and just, murdering people and whatnot. But, Jake, what if I told you that we have some truly elite human capital waiting to come to the country legally? Okay? Legally.
What does that mean?
Just let me know if you think that these are the types of people that you want in your country. All right? Just gonna play the video here, and just let me know what you think of the happenings here.
Those monkeys? What are those?
So this is South India, where our lovely H-1B program tends to draw from. And
what the hell are they throwing?
They are taking baby goats. Some of them are alive, and as part of this ritual ceremony in their culture, they throw them up into the air until they die. And then they continue to throw them around and play with them.
That's great, John. Honestly, I'm completely fine with them doing this on their little shithole fucking plot of land across the world for me. I do not care to have any of these people in my country.
I'm with Jake.
I mean, do you not think that this culture is compatible with Western ideology? I mean, you wouldn't take a baby goat and just, beat its head in for fun? You wouldn't just do that?
No, thanks.
And again, keep in mind that these people have no value of life, no sanctity in life. And again, if you listen to the full video, you can hear the goats like screaming out in pain.
Yeah, they also don't know how to wash their hands, and they also rape at like an extremely high rate, like worse than anybody else in the world. So they're like not there's something that's not connected in their brains. I don't know if they just. I'm not gonna say they're not human, but maybe they're not. I don't know.
I think tossing the goats is preferable to raping them.
Well, that's why they kill them first. It makes it easier in the second part.
Richard,
don't get kicked as easily.
When you're right, Richard. I think they're both horrible.
I'm glad that that's what it comes down to. We've discovered that killing goats is better than raping them.
And this isn't me being like
very deep philosophical position we have.
This isn't me being some like PETA cuck. Like I have no problem with killing goats. However, killing goats in this manner is just retarded.
When we do it, it's based, and we do. I mean, literally, there is a quality of life, a sanctity of life. We do not just kill things for no reason, right?
Yeah,
there's always got to be a purpose behind it.
You kill things for meat. You kill things because they are threatening other things that you are working hard to produce. You don't just throw goats in the air because it's funny. Like that's just, I don't know. I mean, they don't have internet, so who knows, John? Maybe if we didn't have internet, I'd be doing the same shit, but I highly doubt it.
Well, maybe there's a reason that they don't have internet and have been worshiping demons for the last 15,000 years, and maybe this is the way that their society has degraded to this point. Yeah. Now, I'm glad that we're in agreement there that is not quite the elite human capital that we're looking for here in the U.S. Right? I think we're hoping for something a bit more eloquent, well spoken. You know, white. But that's kind of it for like the ragiest of the rage bait. There's a couple little funny little breakup things in there. Okay. We're gonna try and finish it out fast to get to your guys' support here. So this will just be a little lighter. I saw this and I was like, you know what? This is wacky. It's so wacky. Cops being cops, doing their thing. Just, and it ends in a catastrophic fashion. So yeah, I'll just let the video play. I mute the audio there so we don't get tagged. But no, that is a cop car that, in its attempt to stop the truck and trailer, got up on the trailer and is now just being dragged along in a 90-minute chase. It's just stuck on that tow hitch is wild. Oh, there it goes. And they got him.
I do love some hijinks.
Yes, this is just backwater hijinks. And where was this? Let me pull this up.
I hope everyone
this was
had
in
fun.
Norwood. So the driver, identified as Leisha Harris, fled, leading authorities on a chase that lasted approximately 90 minutes. Across parts of Ohio and briefly Indiana. During the pursuit, Harris was driving a white SUV towing a flatbed trailer. Dashcam footage later released by authorities showed the trailer carrying a marked cruiser from the Cincinnati Police Department. Near the end of the chase, officials have not publicly explained how the cruiser came to be on the trailer. I don't know how it happened, if she like slammed on the brakes and then the car jumped the trailer, or what was going through that cop's mind. But honestly, the cop got it worse than the girl did almost. That was
100%,
not a fun ending to
dude.
that. Yeah.
Like, hitting a tree, but like
rollover.
multiple rollover. Like,
yeah.
Also, how much of a cuck do you feel like if you get stuck on a trailer and you can't do anything?
Oh, you're literally just stuck there, bro.
What's that water cooler conversation sound like with the guy who pitted you to get you to finally flip?
Yeah, Leisha, mugshot not published for some reason. We don't know why. Following the crash, suspect's SUV caught fire. Authorities say both Harris and Cincinnati police officer were transported to a hospital with minor injuries. The officer has since been released. Multiple agencies assisted in the pursuit, including Norwood Police, Cincinnati Police, Harris Police, and the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. Harris was taken into custody and additional charges are pending. Officials have not released further details about the investigation. Yeah, not every day. You know, this would be a good meme for like it's start of a movie and then it's you see the cop on the trailer getting dragged around and then it's like freeze frame. Now you're probably wondering how I got in this situation.
I was just thinking the Benny Hill music would be perfect.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We got one more little piece of bad news. Then we actually got a white pill to end. Good men standing up to bad. All right. Oh, maybe a bit of a weird white pill. But here's a North Dakota Republican senator, Mr. Ray, reads the last name, Holmberg, has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for traveling abroad 14 times to sexually abuse children. The former North Dakota State Senator Ray Holmberg, a Republican who served in the legislature for 45 years, has been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the 81-year-old from Grand Forks traveled to Prague in the Czech Republic about 14 times between 2011 and 2021. Check to see if he made any visits to a little island.
Hey, chat, I'm curious. What do we think about the name? That's a weird name, right?
It's a strange name.
Is that a weird name?
Weird name. Anyways, he reportedly, during these trips, he paid for sexual acts with adolescent boys at a brothel and sought out underage boys in a public park near the main train station. Just normal Holmberg activities. He reportedly used the alias Sean Evans on some occasions to avoid having his real name recorded, citing his position as a state legislator. Court documents details how he communicated with friends about the trips, encouraging them to join, sharing details like boys renting for around $60. That's how cheap young boys are in the Czech Republic, apparently. That's an indictment upon them.
Yeah, that is an indictment because, like, side note, Czech Republic, the statement of paying for sex with young boys at a brothel, like, what are you guys doing over there? What's the deal? Like, why is that a thing?
Now, sex is extra, but he boasted about encounters with boys as young as 12 years old. You know, honestly, it's just black activities. You know, it's like young black men, they just rape young women, and old Jewish people, they just rape young boys. You know, it's like they just can't help themselves. Free my boy, he didn't do nothing.
I say boycott CZ at this point.
I don't know how CZ is involved, but they have to be.
They are 100% somehow in Minecraft, of course.
He also faced allegations of manipulating a 16-year-old Canadian boy online to send explicit images. Holmberg pleaded guilty in August 2024 to one count of traveling in a foreign commerce for the purpose of engaging in illicit sexual conduct. The sentencing occurred on March 26, 2025, exceeding the guideline range that both sides had recommended, around 3 to 4 years, with the judge citing the severity of the offenses and ongoing risk. The case was handled under the Project Safe Childhood and the DOJ's initiative against child exploitation. Listen, the guy's 81 years old, which it means that they only recommended 3 to 4 years in prison, but he got 10. Both the prosecutors and the defense, they recommended 3 to 4 years.
People.
Yeah, to me it doesn't matter. He's 81 years old. He's dying in prison. He's an 81-year-old pedo going into Gen Pop, hopefully, and he's going to be dealt with. If not, Father Time will correct the issue.
No, like, honestly, like, that's all well and good, warm and fuzzies, whatever. Like, seriously though, I don't think Canada has capital punishment, but like,
well, so he's North Dakota.
This guy's.
He's from
what was the deal with the Canadian boy that he?
Well, so it's again, he was. He also faced allegations of manipulating a 16-year-old Canadian boy online to send explicit images. That's online.
Yeah, no, North Dakota. What's the deal, bro? Like, in this thing, in this guy. Let's go, justice. Let's go.
Well, I mean, literally, the faggot should be executed. Faggot's kosher past the 2-hour mark, so we're very good.
Yes, and he is in fact a faggot.
But can't we just? He is literally a faggot. Can't we just like execute this level of justice upon everybody in the files? Just carte blanche for no reason at all, right? I mean, surely if we can get this one random North Dakota senator, we can get all of them, right? I mean, come on. Everyone up here hates him. Based. Yeah, he should. He's a stain on you. Now, not to like physiognomy post too much, but I also noticed that he's a manlet. Kind of tragic. Manlets out here. Short kings stay losing.
Yeah, statistically speaking, if you're 5'6", you're much more likely to be a pedophile. I guess is what I'm learning here.
Probably. But you know what's the opposite of a Jewish pedophile?
I don't know, a white guy who has children with a lovely woman. I don't know, John.
It's Amish fathers, all right, who literally only work with their hands. That's it. That's all they do, day in and day out. All right. Now, I have obviously lots of problems with Amish and their belief systems and stuff like that. But I think it is important to see stories of people in our own country even standing up to evil, standing up to overreach or indoctrination or whatever you want to call it, way before it was cool. Way before, all right? So Amish men in 1955 reporting to jail for refusing to send their children to public school. Heroes.
Nice.
So we have footage of this old meeting back in the 50s and 60s when all this was going down. But let me give you a little bit of framing here. The year was 1960, and the Amish men in this film are facing a judge in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. Their crime: their children weren't going to public school. New laws in the United States after World War II required children to stay in school until the age of 16. School officials and law enforcement began enforcing the law in the Amish communities in the mid-1950s. Emotions ran high, even for those in the Amish community. In this hearing, one of the men objects to the law and is removed from the meeting. 9 fathers in this hearing refused to pay the fines and took 5-day jail sentences instead. They took the punishment instead of their children. One newspaper report said there were 125 parents in jail at the same time in one eastern PA township. According to the National Constitution Center, it wasn't until 1972 that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Amish children could not be forced to attend high school, and the court allowed their one-room school system through 8th grade. So meaning that these people, these fathers, through a peaceful protest of the system, right, a nonviolent protest of the system, were willing to not pay fines, to go to jail for their beliefs, and actually execute change, right? I did mute you, Jake, because there was just a little bit of feedback coming through. And this is based, right? And this was also very important, successful. And it shows you that there's still a path forward, even if it's painful, even if it's hard. You still have to stand up for your children, for what you believe in, and do the right thing. And with enough luck and some help from God, I think that you can have success in your endeavors, right? And it shows that there's a possibility, at least, a possibility of non-violent solutions being enacted.
100%. I think the fact that the Amish are doing this, and even back in the 1960s, like, I feel like most people don't even realize this kind of stuff was happening in the 1960s. They think this is like a new phenomenon. But like, the fact that the Amish are willing to do this, they're willing to go hard in the paint. Like, they will literally die for this. They'll sit in prison for this. That's kind of like, that's a call to action for you guys to like be about it. Like, if you have beliefs, stand up for your beliefs. Like, you might not agree with the Amish, but they're hardcore. They are actually about it. And I can't think of a person that I know who has gone to jail to keep their kids out of school. Maybe some people might, but like, this is, I don't know. This is wholesome. It's really cool. I don't agree with the Amish theology, but
of course, I have plenty of problem with Amish theology and their way of life and some of the things that they do. But they are, in this situation, they are putting their own lives on the line. The fathers are. They're saying that, no, our children will not go. You can do whatever the heck you want to us, right? And we'll argue through public pressure, through protesting, through, nonviolent actions, and we'll get something done. And this was for over a decade, right? Because it didn't get rectified until 1972. And honestly, I kind of have to thank the Amish, right? I was homeschooled growing up. My kids are going to be homeschooled. They are being homeschooled currently, right? I have to thank them for getting this Supreme Court ruling through in the first place, because they were willing to put their necks on the line. You see photographs, there's famous photographs when they integrated the schools, people, young men, young women being marched into school at gunpoint, bayonets to their backs, beaten and bloody because they didn't want to go, And that is what our government did in the 1950s and 60s, which is why there was such a drastic turning point. There's something that happened in the middle of last century that just changed the direction of the nation. And you could argue before that as well, of course, but just some event there that just went horribly wrong for everything and started everything going in this direction.
Yeah, I wonder what that was. That's super weird. But yeah, I'm seeing these stories should inspire us to be more like that. That doesn't mean like be weird and like have weird haircuts and but it should inspire us to be like about what we believe, not just say what we believe, but do what we believe. And like this exists in stark contrast to the clip we saw earlier, right? With the father who,
father
like,
in name only. Honestly, he doesn't deserve
father
the title.
in name only. Like, this is how parents should be. This is what they should be willing to do for their children. Not
well, and here's the thing:
allowing their children to get raped or allowing their children to rape other kids.
I'll actually take it one step further than that. The Amish are limited by their belief structure to be nonviolent.
Yes.
We don't have that issue. So as far as the Amish go here, we should be absolutely willing to do it in a peaceful, nonviolent way, but we should also be willing to give our lives and our physical being in sacrifice for our children, for our communities, for our nation, our people, right?
Theoretically, we should be more based than the Amish, but for some reason we're not. In practice, for some reason, as a nation, as a whole, we're not. We're fucking up. What are we doing wrong, guys?
I remember last year there was a fairly famous court case of a man who murdered an Amish woman, and the Amish men of the community stood up in court and blocked the cameras from filming him and filming the families. Like they
way
wanted
ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, we're going to get to your guys' support. Thank you for everybody hanging out, having a good time with us tonight. It's greatly appreciated. I don't know if the Discord alternative is up and working. I don't know if I should be dropping that link at all in chat. Does that work, Jake? Do you know? Have you looked at that?
I think we're kind of still in the development phase of Stoat. It's got its little quirks to it. It's not perfect, but we're gonna try to make it work just as kind of a as an alternative, you know, a failsafe. Because
we'll keep working on that in the background then.
Big tech hates us quite a bit.
Yes.
Big Tuck.
Big Tuck. The Big
Yes,
Tucker
Big
Carlson.
Tuck.
Big Tuck is also a trans joke in there somewhere. Stephen Harris over on Ko-Fi says they don't treat you as human. Don't give them the same right. They made the rules of engagement. Play by them and win. Again, in a practical sense, it's very difficult to live it out. But I think the simplest term is just never relax. Just never relax. There's no reason to do so. Bushmaster over on Rumble says, me wantum ATF to hurry up and approve my Form 1. These booger eaters are keeping me from answering the whispers of the buffer tube to put a stock on it. So why do these agents of Moloch, why must these agents of Moloch torment me so? Well, it's because they're the ATF and they get paid to be gay and lame, dude. Right Perspective Radio rated the stream. Appreciate that. Thank you very much over there on Rumble. Dick Cheney's Heart for 2 says, Halliburton to the moon. That's right.
Yes.
Don't worry. Always hold out. Halliburton's going to come through in the long run. Never doubt. Moonman for 5 says, can we start a fund for Logan's HRT to counteract Lightsport's TRT at the same time so that we can make a true abomination to God and man? So HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and TRT are kind of the same thing. They're used interchangeably, right? So like somebody who's on TRT might just call it HRT because he's just replacing his natural testosterone with exogenous hormones, right? So I know what you mean by that though. So that would just pump him up estrogen and tests at the same time. That probably would be awful. Trout for 10 says, Heathen from Texas, RXD 910T, thin L, low back pressure, great sound, running on a S. Dude, there's so many letters and numbers and things in order. I just
that is atrocious.
Running on an SP9A3 Strybog under a KGM extension by the DA410 mount, tossing on the G42 for the Mark 23 meme. Kill me.
Yeah, bro,
Thank you, Trout.
You're in too deep, bro. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, that's never happening, dude.
Algebra.
It looks like an algebra question, not a product. Zanico for 5 says, Richard, the PFP I sent, please.
On it.
All right. Central Sands Defense says the Griffin GP5. For suppressors? Let's see here. Thank you. Appreciate that, Ben. Hope you're having a good night. Bend Over for 5 says thoughts on the Ridgeback Defense, Roadie 6, or the B&T Tiger. Y'all got me nervous about 3D cans. Godspeed. Godspeed to you. Bend Over. Really appreciate that. Let me see though. I'm getting another can, but I forget which one it is. Hold up. I am getting the Ridgeback Defense 6J.
Why does it have ridges on it, John?
Well, it's because they kept clipping them, Jake.
Honestly, like my opinion, that means absolutely nothing because I'm just a retard. The whole 3D printed cans thing, I don't think you should be nervous about 3D printed cans. I think it's just there's companies that have started using 3D printing and they do really well. And then there's everybody else who said, wow, we can just print these things and we don't actually have to do very much work. We can just steal people's designs. Awesome. And that's what you need to worry about. And I think those kinds of things are like, if you're not just some Reddit Coomer retard, you should be able to spot that stuff and say, yeah, this is like not legit. And just go with something that's actually real. Go with something that's tried and true.
Yeah, I am getting a 6J at some point in the future, so I'll let you know how it goes. I also have a cat white bread that I just shot for the first time yesterday, and it's a pig. The one that I have is the heavy version, so it's like 17 ounces with mount, so it's literally a half pound heavier than my Turbo K. Back pressure's infinitely better, but yeah, it's a pig. Thank you, sir. Jay Lewis for 5 says, I won't appreciate Jake till I see that jawline. LMAO. Well, if only there was a place that cool people could see his jawline for free.
Yeah, I freely show my face in certain, trusted circles because I, not a weirdo.
Moonman for 5 says, whatever the suppressor is on the M4 in Modern Warfare 2 is the best one. That's the NT4. Also going to buy that stupid Commando store red camo Modern Warfare 2 Gorka. Oh, I haven't seen that. That's actually cool. I think I'm getting a red Tiger shirt or sweatshirt from Weekend Gunner soon, I think. Thank you, Moonman. Nick Martin for 5 says the Napa cries out in pain when you charge them as an adult. No, they deserve it. If you're gonna go to trial, I mean, come on. Thank you, Nick Martin. Cody Fisher pretends says rage never. We are reaching scorched earth levels soon. God bless. God bless, sir. I hope you're having a good night. Thank you, Cody Fisher. Moonman for 5 says, oh, I have a thought about capital punishment for kids. Sorry, says, oh, I have thought about capital punishment for kids a lot. Not my kids. Don't even look like me. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wait, no, I have a voice for that. Here it is.
No.
Ooh.
John.
Did that come through? Okay.
Only the second half.
Oh, damn it. Let me try it again.
Hello, is this thing working? Is it on? Hello?
Thank you, Moonman. Noob Actual for 5 says, hello, everyone, including Sussy, Jake, and Arrow, as well as Chud. Yes, thank you, Noob Actual. Hope you're hanging out, having a good time.
Notice how they have all abandoned us.
Yes,
Tragic.
It's only the real ones. This is real Nibba hours, real Neanderthal hours up in this bitch. Logan sucks at shooting for 5 says, I'm going to leave and go dry fire before I do something I potentially regret. That's the thing. No regrets. Don't live your life that way, Logan. Go in peace. Thank you, Logan. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a good time dry fire. Todd and Dogs for 2 says, and violence is not rage bait. It's just how they are. That's true, dude. You think rage bait to me is just normal bait. That's how dark and twisted I am. Thank you, Todd and Dogs. Geonosian for 5 says, it's always cool to see Reddit, NFA, and Pew Science retards getting slimed out. It happens. It happens. Thank you, Geonosian. Just Some Space Cowboy for 5 says, Jake doesn't like Candace anymore. He loves her. He wants Agnes Tachyon to experiment on him and lower his cortisol. Do you know the low cortisol meme?
So I know the low cortisol meme. I don't know what that actually means, though, because I'm not a doctor like Josh.
Cortisol is like your stress response hormone.
Yeah.
Less of it, the better.
I don't know who the fuck Agnes Tachyon is. Sounds like some weird stuff that I don't want to be. Richard, what the fuck is your picture?
That's what was sent to me.
I just noticed that. I just made eye contact with myself. What is that?
It's what was sent to me. That's
low cortisol, bro.
John, I don't know if I can take it.
Look at that. Low cortisol,
you want
dude.
Low cortisol, though, right?
Yeah, it is. That's
Isn't
why it's
a
good. She's
cortisol
dancing.
Spike bad? No,
she's
this
dancing because she ain't got no cortisol.
This does not lower my
Look at that.
cortisol.
Look
I don't
how
know
chill
what
she
this
is.
Does. This makes
She's
me want to kill
vibing.
myself, John. This
She's
makes me wanna-
vibing. Why are you such a hater, dude? She's
This
vibing.
makes me want
and
to
you're
kill
hating.
myself, John. This is like something Logan would post.
Look how low cortisol that is, dude. You don't get it. Moonman for 5 says, I would simply help anyone who doesn't look like... Oh, sorry. He said ooh. So anytime that says ooh, I have to do it in the...
Voice art. I would simply help anyone who doesn't look like me escape Samsara sooner. That would alleviate these problems. It will.
Thank you, Moonman. Moonman for 2 says, we only need a tasteful tree in Georgia. Down in Georgia. Thank you, Moonman. Jay Lewis for 2 says, they aren't human. First commandment. Applicable. Funny thing about human rights violations is they only apply to humans, huh? Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. That's quite funny. Moonman for 5 says, it's not murder. It's just if justified. I read the Bible, crazy amount of stuff you can do, and God is cool with it. Listen, all right, violence is absolutely within the Bible and completely justified in certain circumstances. Absolutely. You know, the danger is saying that, well, it's justified because I feel it's based. Thank you, Moonman. Polly B for $25.
We're going to have to come over to your house and kill you. No two ways about it.
Mega! Says 2 to 19% archaic hominid admixture things at 90 decibels. Is that a meme above my... Is that too racist? Am I not a competitive enough racist to know what that means? Archaic hominid admixture things at 90 decibels. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means. How about this one? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Polly. Thank you. You're very generous, Polly. I appreciate it. Rick, the squad leader for 2, says voting should require IQ testing for this reason. Or just be male, white, of good character, which means not a felon, and own property. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Just like the founding fathers intended. Central Science Defense for 2 says that lady is what Ellie deals with every day. I would not handle it. Listen, we listened to enough of this. That should honestly be a hate crime against my audience. Thank you, Central Science Defense. I appreciate it, sir. Listen, God bless you for putting up with that. Moonman for 5 says, let's take a break from Minority Hour to explain 6'7" to me like I'm 6 or 7 years old. Also, Richard, that thing I made you. Well, Moonman, so the meme originated, I believe, on a plane and some like 12-year-old TikToker doing a 6'7" with his hands, and it just like caught on, and now anytime somebody mentions 6'7", it's like, oh yeah, 6'7".
John, I don't even think that's right.
It's very similar. That's funny. It's very similar to the E meme. You know, you either get it or you don't.
Yeah, okay.
Did you see where they had to remove order number 67 off of the Whataburger POS system? Because kids were coming in every day and waiting for order number 67 to be called out, and they would just go nuts.
Based? All right, sorry. This is my genre of meme, okay? This is my brain rot. This was my childhood. Thank you. Thank you, Moonman. Sean Weiland for 2 says, but at least we're not speaking German, right? Right? Right?
That made me laugh so fucking hard, dude, when I saw that come through.
It's just always applicable. It's like anytime somebody shows a meme of the men storming Normandy and they're like, dude, I can't wait for Pajit number 421 to rape my daughter in 60 years. It's like, huh. Yeah, maybe they didn't fight for that. Maybe they weren't heckin' anti-fascist like you libtards think. Everyday American for 5 says, you'll never be able to articulate to me how women can stand up for these kinds of animals who commit heinous crimes against women and young girls. Women are not rational beings. It doesn't matter what they say, okay? They don't work on logic. They don't work on consistency. There's no moral framework that they have. It's just emotions, okay?
That's the long game of like women being a problem, the like inconvenient truth of that is that it's actually men's fault. Like women only do what we allow them to do. It's kind of our fault in the end as to like what they are allowed to say and do in public. So, you know, maybe not us, but like the previous generations.
Correct. Blame it on the boomers, 1920. Yeah. Blame it on, well, I mean, if you look back into the history of women's suffrage, and it was always funded by large industrial commercial types. So
yeah, but women, generally speaking, do not have any agency. But you know, that's my Jocko Willink take for the night. You know, extreme ownership, good, if you will.
Moonman for 10 says, Richard, in the event that anyone outbids me, that thing I made you. Also, I can't give $500 anymore for anime games. I finally won that stupid G43. Mags are even more unobtainable than foul mags. Dude, that's good. Excellent. I'm glad that you won it, you know? You should be happy, bro. You got a cool new gun. No mags, but you got a cool new gun. Now you have even more autism, and you're forced to hunt down mags that literally no one makes. Here's a good meme. Thank you for sending that in, Jim. Appreciate that. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate you. Good luck on your magazine search. Yeah. Socioeconomic factors on their way to force black people to commit more than half the violent crime. Yeah. Everyday American for 5 says, this is why we need 2 elections. A fun election for women to vote for whoever they want, and an actual election for the men that can vote, or that the men can vote in. Yes, I agree. They should. It's literally just a participate 3 hours in participation trophy. Thank you, Everyday American. Moonman for 5 says the American Horst W isn't Charlie Kirk. It's every white kid murdered by a YN. It should be, right? It should. Far too many have died, right? One was too many. And at this point, it's reaching a critical mass that something must be done to stop it from happening. Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate it, sir. Everyday American for 2 says, yeah, also ban pit bulls. Based pit bull hate. Thank you, Everyday American.
You gotta wonder if pit bulls would not be violent if they were owned by like normal people. You know,
well, the same thing with blacks, right?
No,
That's what I'm
actually,
saying.
with pit bulls, it is like just.
It's actually just it's genetic.
If Suppressor Chud was still in here, he would go on a whole rant about it. But it is in fact just a known fact that
it's just genetics.
Any pit bull, take any pit bull, they will eventually do something.
And listen, I know people in the chat love pit bulls and they get so butthurt. It's like dog moms and cat moms. They get butthurt when you say something bad about their pet. I don't care about your pet. It can't be allowed in public. It can't be around children. That's the rule. I don't care. You can have it in the sanctity of your own home. How about that? Sean Weiland for 2 says, men get arrested, dogs get put down. I agree. Everyday American for 5 says, if only the Jews and ironically women didn't take away my ability to let my wife be a stay-at-home mom protected from the outside world. Everyday American, you spend like $100 a night on super chats, dog. Your wife can stay home, bro. You got some extra cash rolling around. Not to call you out. I mean, come on. But I mean, no, listen, seriously. I would rather you never super chat a dime and your wife stay at home. You'll be happier. She'll be happier. Make babies. Replenish the earth, because if you don't, retards are, and the retards are currently up on the scoreboard. Thank you, Everyday American. Amrai Boy for 2 says, extreme high use of pot leads to real schizo.
Leads.
Pot leads. Oh, well, that too, right. Pot is problematic in a societal context.
Actually,
Jake, what do you
John-
think about pot?
John, I was told fairly recently, that marijuana is actually a good thing and we should all be using it. It's actually really good. It's way better.
No, nobody said
society.
that, but they were really adamant that the government not enforce moral claims, which is strange because all laws should be moral claims of some sort.
Yeah, I am totally fine with our government enforcing like something that people might see as a what would you call that? I'm fine with our government saying, yeah, you can drink alcohol. That's fine because that's part of our society. But saying, no, marijuana is not something that we're going to allow in our culture.
Yeah, some things are arbitrary. Some things are picked and choose, right? It's
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
fine.
No,
It's
and-
like,
and that's,
listen,
like,
I don't
totally
care.
fine.
I don't
It
care
doesn't
if
have to
some.
be.
I don't care if some gay parents don't abuse their children. Gay parents aren't allowed to buy children. It's just that's the rule. Sorry, bro.
I'm fine with being a hypocrite sometimes because being a hypocrite's kind of based, actually, for real.
It's
no
yeah.
cap.
I want
Everyday
them to
American.
loosen. I want them to loosen restrictions on it simply for the fact that it'll take a hit to big pharma's pockets, right?
No, it just changes who makes, because they'll just own the weed farms. They'll just own the weed products. That's literally all that happens.
They'll buy them, but they don't currently own them.
Yeah, but again, it's like if you made fent legal and suddenly big pharma's putting fent in every, well, they already are, right? But
it is legal. It's made by Pfizer in California. Fentanyl citrate is produced right here in America.
right, but it's not a legal drug that people are just allowed to possess.
No, it is. People, you can get a prescription for fentanyl.
Right. Is it legal without a prescription?
No.
In certain places.
No, they use it.
Oregon,
They use it.
Portland, California.
I think it's decriminalized. It's not illegal, which means it is still technically illegal. So you're not going to be able to just go buy it in a store, but they're not going to arrest you.
All
if
right.
they
So
find
if
you
I
with
get
it.
caught on the highway, no license for it, no prescription for it, and I have 20 pounds of fent in my
Well,
passenger
that's-
seat, you think that's kosher?
No, that's
If you're
different
black.
because that is no, Richard. That's different because they're not going to arrest you for possession if it's decriminalized. However, they might still arrest you for intent to distribute, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know. It's not good. I mean,
Hey,
that is
Chris
the
Bishop.
argument though. Like
Chris Bishop, can you tell me what freedom is, please? Thanks.
no, yeah, freedom does not mean no laws. Actually, no laws is actually fucking horrible. No laws is Mad Max. Laws are a good thing. Just and righteous laws.
Based. Look, the founding fathers would never. The founding fathers owned slaves, a retard. You can't. I never allow these people access to the founding fathers. Go away. Go away.
The founding
fathers instituted state religions. Back away. Back away from me.
If the founding fathers saw what was on your computer, they would probably kill you.
Yeah. And they wouldn't feel bad about it either. Everyday American for 5 says the world is so upside down and backwards. I don't even know how to talk to these people to get them to understand how this stuff actually works. Little bit at a time, all right? It's like you don't want to go too fast. Some people take longer. Some people take slower. Some people will never make it. That just is what it is, right? But go slow, give patience. You know, some of us in the chat maybe took a decade to wake up or a decade to come to where we are now. So it's a slow journey for some people. That's okay. Don't get frustrated. Don't give up on your people. That's literally all you have to do. Just don't give up. Thanks, Everyday American. Appreciate it, sir. Moonman for 5 says, schizophrenia is a drill, and you and the voices can't tell me otherwise. Real, dude. The voices told me it's not real. Jim wouldn't like it if you did that. Everyday American for 5 says, how would they even make change? They have no guns. They took all their knives. The government holds every single ounce of power over their people. Well, yes, but if there is a peaceful solution to it, I think Britain does have a possibility of doing it, and it'd be a slow, long, painful process. And I'm not even saying that it's likely in Britain's case, but it would be a change of power. And then when they get in power, they rewrite all the laws to maintain power. And then they slowly terraform the country into something that it should be. Very unlikely. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen in the next 2 years. That's probably not real.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely either because of the way the electoral system is set up there. Very similar to where it is here. The cities hold a lot of power, and you're correct that they do have a higher concentration of white people overall in England as a whole. But in the cities in the metropolitan areas, it's much, much worse. It's like 33 to 38%.
Chris Bishop says, so we should be forced to send kids to school. Total non sequitur. Nobody said that at any point in time. We literally just praise people for standing up against tyranny in that regard. Cool. I guess so. Sean Weiland for 5 says it's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things, thus making discourse impossible. Yeah, it's like if you tell them, oh no, black people are just violent. But what? That's not true. That's not real. I just don't even know. Like, what do you even mean by this? Are you saying black people are violent? Are you saying that they're aggressive? What do you say? What? True. Moonman for 10 says less Europeans just mean that our Reconquista will be cooler. The thing North Korea said GIs would do to babies with bayonets, but on a big scale and real. Well, you see, as somebody who personally would like to limit bloodshed for moral reasons, right? We should try to reduce suffering. However, we cannot take that risk to a point where we would allow ourselves and our families and our own people to disappear or become eliminated. So there's really not a limit on violence or bloodshed in terms of like civilizational history and the things you're allowed to do to make sure your people survive. But we would like to see it limited. And so, it's always on the table, but we should hope to do what we can to assuage the situation. If that makes sense. Thank you, Moon Man. Appreciate it. And as Paul Miller says, it's like, listen, if the good guys win and, it's a peaceful solution, great. Then you don't need me. You don't need my solution, but it's always there. Moonman for 5 says, there is no elite human capital outside of this country. Not sure what you mean, my Habibi. Habibi, I throw the goat in the air, Habibi. Thank you, Moonman. Everyday American for 5 says, there are subspecies of animals that don't intermingle. Humans should be no different. See, so I'm not an evolutionist. I think it's very funny. I don't think it's philosophically sound. But I love talking to evolutionists about stuff like race and whatnot, and determinism or nihilism, right? Because if you talk to a nihilist and they're like, nothing matters, right? Or, a outcomes-based guy or something like that. It's like, oh, well, sure. So if the end justifies the means, I can eliminate certain groups of people, and I can show you on paper how that would improve everybody else's life. That's fine, right? They're like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because heckin' freedoms. It's like, there's no God. There's no moral absolutes. There's just your feelings and your preferences, and I would prefer them not to be here. Like, how are you supposed to, from an evolutionary perspective, how could you argue against it? You can't tell me that it's not advantageous for my people. Like, listen, if evolution is just the survival of the fittest, and I happen to be the fittest person in the room, why would it be wrong for me to eliminate all the other competition from the gene pool? Why? Well, it's wrong. What do you mean wrong? Where do you get wrong from with no objective morality? What does wrong mean? What does wrong mean in a biological context? When an ant farm takes over the next ant farm over and genocides them, what do you mean that's wrong in a nature context, in a biological context? Where do you get right and wrong from?
I mean, essentially anything goes in that worldview.
Yeah,
literally nothing is wrong. Everything.
You
is
can't
good,
tell me it's
actually.
wrong.
If it's good for me, it's actually just objectively good in that worldview.
Amrite Boy for 5 says, and somehow it's almost impossible for the based Euros to move here. Well, that's the point, right? They make it difficult for good people to move here while flooding the borders with undesirables. Thank you, Amrite. I say Moonman too much. Moonman for 5 says, they have addresses, rural intersections at night, have no cameras, and rarely witnesses. You can do more than the Amish. Ooh, damn it, I have to say that again.
They have addresses, rural intersections at night with no cameras, and rarely witnesses. You can do more than the Amish. Hello.
Thank you, Moonman. Honestly, it's just Jake's reaction. If Jake didn't react that way, I would stop doing it, but it's so funny now.
Oh, I can't not react, John. It's kind of involuntary.
Involuntary reaction to this voice is called Actual Mommy. Zandico for 5 says, Richard, now the new PFP just sent, please.
It's terrifying.
Is it? Well, let's see it.
Yeah,
Come on.
Well, I have to remove one and add another one every time because I have so many now.
They only allow you to have so many.
Yeah. Well, they allow you to have 33, and I'm scrolling.
Oh my! What am I looking at? Jake, what are you doing to that trans deer centaur, Jake? What?
Yeah, John, that image is 100% real. No AI detected, actually. It's literally me. Obviously.
I'm disappointed in you, Jake.
I'm disappointed in some of these super chatters. Like, you paid
just be glad
money.
I cropped the toes off.
You guys paid money for that?
Yeah, is that a
Get a
problem,
life.
bro? Is that a problem, bro?
Like, great, you're supporting John. However, get a life, dude. Pay money for something else. Say like a
do you guys
slur.
Do you guys want to go watch Alex Zedra play games? No, I thought not.
No.
Dude, scrolling the live section on Rumble is like a wasteland. There's like 3 real people and everyone else is not that thing. Man. The Angry Man? No, you guys don't want to watch that. That's good. I was trying to find something to raid for you guys. Fresh and Fit is really disturbing. Are they live right now? Oh,
I might have to start stream
They
it
are
on
live.
Have
At
them
least
rate the
there's
this
not a
stream I
million
have in the
ugly.
background.
There's
It's
not
the
a million ugly
Enforcer.
girls. Is that on Rumble?
No, it's on YouTube.
Oh, unbelievable.
Never mind. It might be on Rumble, actually. I don't know.
All right. Cody Fisher for 10 says go-to rifle and pistol combo. Sorry, go-to rifle and pistol combo to take a final stand against the lizard people. Well, if it's a go-to war situation where I'm gonna go make my last stand, it's gonna be a Geisley Mod 1A 11.5. It's gonna have some low back pressure can on it. It's gonna have, probably a red dot magnifier combo because it's simple. And then it's gonna have a Glock 17 in my waistband or in a holster. That's pretty simple. Jake. Go-to rifle and pistol combo, bro. Come on. Come on, dog.
Oh, I don't own a rifle that has a brand name. My rifle has been built out of parts that are just like fine, I guess.
The Jake Special.
Yeah, it's a 16-inch Roscoe Bloodline with a rifle speed gas block and a PSA upper receiver with a PSA bolt carrier group. It's literally dog shit.
It's got Roscoe. It's got a rifle speed. It's not all bad.
A LaRue MB22S trigger. I have a primary arms 1-6 on it. That's my go-to rifle because it's the only rifle I have because I'm not a fucking retard who buys 6,000 rifles. I digress. And then my go-to pistol is a Glock 19 because that's what I have. Maybe a Glock if I had just like funny money that I could just buy whatever I possibly need, I would get a Glock 17, but a Glock 19 is totally fine. So
would you get a Gen 6 or would you get a Gen 5?
I'd probably get a Gen 4.
Gotta be special. Jake has gotta be special.
No, I like it. My first
do you guys
Glock.
have a Gen 4? I need a Gen 4. It's very
my
Reddit
first,
coded.
My
That's
first
so
Glock
Reddit
was a
coded.
19 Gen 4, and I really like it. Like, I don't know. And I do not fuck with ambidextrous guns. I don't like guns that are built with lefty inclusivity in mind. Fuck left-handed people, honestly. Pardon my French.
All right,
but,
Richard, your go-to rifle pistol combo.
Rifle is going to be a 14.5 focus shooting LLC upper with a 17 designs lower rise armament trigger and just basic furniture. I think I've got the 15-degree grip on it. And then the pistol is, of course, just a Glock 22.
That's black. Amorite Boy for 2 says, why, Jake? BCM blems are 50 to 100 jewel papers.
Because that's just what I have. I have not had the time or the reason to replace or the money to like change my rifle. It's fine. Like the next thing I'll do is replace the bolt carrier group because that's the weak link in my opinion. Other than that, like the upper receiver to me doesn't really matter. The lower receiver, does it really matter? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Prove me
Jake's
wrong,
got
chat.
named the
Prove me
Candace
wrong,
remover.
chat. Do I need to get like a $300 Gucci receiver set that has like "Be Gay, Do Crime" engraved on it? Is that what I need?
If you don't, you're literally going to get killed in the streets.
I'm literally going to get killed in the streets if I don't have a cool roll mark on my receiver.
There's only one thing that I know of that makes any difference between receivers as far as the lowers go, and that's the little tension screw that's underneath of the grip that just basically prevents your upper from rattling. They had them on Aero Precisions. They had them on 17 Designs.
Yeah, but like, does it matter if your upper rattles?
Well,
to me, it doesn't. To me, I literally couldn't care less if my upper rattles, but maybe I'm just a troglodyte. I don't know.
I don't ever adjust the screw. Like I put it on there the one time when I'm doing the assembly and then I leave it. So, but that's the only difference between them.
Also, my
Jake,
upper
what do you got
doesn't
going
really
on,
rattle.
homie?
I have basically nothing going on. I'm just hanging out here, chilling with the boys. I love to see Suppressor Chud, aka the guy that I don't know if we're not supposed to say his name. I'm not sure. Lost Arrow. It's always cool to see them hanging out. They're good people. I would say my message that I would like to send out to the people is be a good dad, take care of your kids, especially your daughters. As a girl dad myself, take care of your daughters. Like, be a fucking man. And Christ is king.
Based. Richard, what do you got going on, homie?
I should have some more songs coming out on my channel. If you guys aren't aware, I did start a channel a while ago and finally got approved to start doing uploads and stuff. They verified me. They said I am in fact a real boy and I can start doing uploads and streams. So weather permitting, Friday, I think, maybe before stream here, I will do a little stream and fireside chat. You guys come and hang out for a little bit.
Sounds good. All right, I put his link in the YouTube and the Rumble chat. Thank you to everybody for supporting, for hanging out. Greatly appreciated. I love each and every one of you. But yeah, I'm going to echo Jake's sentiment here. You guys need to be good people. You need to be good pillars of your community. If you don't have any children, if you don't have a wife, you don't have a family, well, you got us, all right? And we're counting on you too, which means you need to take care of yourself. You need to be improving yourself every day, no matter what it is. If it's just waking up, going on a walk, doing something that improves your life, but because by improving your life, your standing, you're going to help us out too, and we need you. So with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. God bless. Godspeed. Christ is king.
The glamour waking up. Shut it down. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Ay, they got slimed up by Stalin. For my daddy in a coffin. I'm a Jew, Finkelstein. My uncle, my grandma was lying. Pulled up on me, mom, ayy. Put her in the count, ayy. Told her get a word or be turned into a lamb, ayy. Mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Ay, they got slimed up my grandma and my aunt in 1945. They were getting fucked up. Stalin put up on me, pa. Ay, put him in the count. Ay, then his op sprayed his ass with the fucking child. My mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin.